It's been a while, hasn't it? Having a podcast. And I hear crickets going around. Welcome to another edition of the GoldenFox podcast after several months, unintentionally. So where has it been? What happened? Stuff happened. I'm going to try to put it short right there because we've got some new people here for the first time. From top to bottom, we have Deafhorse, otherwise known as Bathorn Head, who's at the top of the roster on the left.
Hello.
Yeah. Long story short, he's a big fan of music, and we talk a lot about music. Next one is an absolute sweetheart to chat with, FlitterKriz, spelled with a Z.
Hey. Hello.
And you just sounded like a mixture between Beavis and Fluttershy.
I'm sorry, I didn't expect that intro, okay?
All right. Okay, that was a little sudden there. I will be explaining a couple of things along the way. That's nothing new here. And at the bottom, aside from below yours truly, there's of course Ryley and Sleepy Charm. And these two, you've seen them around for a while. Go ahead and say hello to the chat.
Hey,
Hello.
Golden.
Yes,
Golden.
Sleepy.
May I do a bit?
No.
I'm afraid to answer that question.
Yeah, you should be afraid.
Please.
Okay, fine.
Okay. GoldenFox's friends got a podcast to run, from endless puns to cracking the cold ones, cause torment or tangents are comedic it seems, but then again, that's every stream. GoldenFox podcast!
Okay then.
Yeah.
Hi.
Alrighty. That's a
Record
thing.
that and use that for everyone.
That's just complete utter, like, that was just, okay then. I definitely appreciate the enthusiasm. So,
Also, if you get that reference, I love you.
okay, so apparently some people have been looking forward to seeing this podcast return after a long time, and I'm kind of surprised because not many people talk about it as often. But now that it's here, where has it been? Why haven't I been making podcasts for the past couple of months? Here's the first one. This summer's been complete and utter garbage. We've been dealing with 100-degree weather in the state of California, to which some people would assume it's not that surprising because of how allegedly tropical it is. It's really not. The mismarketing with Los Angeles and all those tropical trees. I'm sorry, this is California, not Hawaii. Secondly, I've been dealing with some real-life struggles. I'm still dealing with some real-life struggles. I'm not going to get into the details there because I'll bore the hell out of you and it'll be way too self-indulgent. Thirdly, motivation's been kicking my ass. And that's putting it very lightly.
That's a mood.
Yeah, so how have you guys been? Any special things you want to share before we get into the meat of the podcast?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Clearly.
Happy bean.
She's
Like, I am, like, literally just running across my room as I'm just, like bouncing up and down and shit.
okay.
And I'm not kidding by that, by the way.
Okay, Sleepy, how much coffee have you had?
I only ate, like, pretzels, some fries, and some soda. Does that count?
I think she's run off of pure adrenaline from the direct earlier, so.
Hey, no spoilers! My God.
All right,
Jeez.
so I'm gonna be.
Why you were so, yeah.
All right, so well, hold up.
Some competency. Okay?
All of you, hold up. So the topics we're going to be discussing here is Helluva Boss, episode 6. Our picks for the summer, called Cinepix of the summer. Nintendo Direct, which happened very, very recently, and our thoughts are pretty raw so far. And finally, we're doing video to video once again, where we share different kinds of video sources and we kind of talk about it briefly.
Alright.
So,
Yeah.
With all that in mind, I have to BRB for just a second. You guys can go ahead and keep the chat occupied.
Oh boy.
Oh, how is everyone? Hi.
Sure, let's have a podcast. Be right be. That happens.
It's like, hey, let's do a podcast. Oh shit, I got a BRB. Sorry.
that happens a lot, okay?
I
Like when
know,
play
but I'm
Among Us
just
and I
like,
start making waffles.
Waffles! Waffles, waffles, waffles.
Making
I
waffles,
have my-
making waffles.
waffles.
Making waffles, making waffles.
What have I done?
For some
I think that was
reason,
pancakes.
the entire day I'm just having like this, like, not only adrenaline rush, but I feel like a happy-go-lucky kind of person, even though I'm, yeah.
You are allowed to have good days too, you know, not just bad days.
Aw, thank you.
So, you know, enjoy the good
Mm.
days.
But still, I'm just like, I'm not usually this like happy-go-lucky, but yeah.
Again, happy bean is best bean.
Yeah. Somebody
I
recently
didn't.
actually explained to me what a bean was. Before I thought, like, why are you calling me a bean? I'm not a kidney bean.
So we have two beans in the chat.
He. Funny enough, my original pick for the movie for summer movie was gonna be Evangelion 3.0 plus 1, but then I realized I would have to explain the other movies. Yeah, that's not gonna be
It's
fun.
probably best not to go down that rabbit hole.
I mean, to be fair, I made him do that because I played a game with him where I was like flipping through like a book page. If it goes to like an even number, it'll be the one he picks. And if it goes to an odd number, it would be Evangelion. So, yeah. The end result was not Evangelion.
You can thank Galaxy for that.
Yay! I've given credited.
Also, Spinell, I'm not really a huge enough Marvel fan to watch the What If series, but I do check out their movies from time to time.
I don't really have an opinion.
I mean, if I
on
have
it.
Disney Plus,
Okay, sorry about that.
But
Something
No
happened.
worries.
Hey,
Yeah.
Golden, what's up?
Okay, so what did I miss?
Stuff and things and stuff and a lot of things and stuff.
Okay then.
Waffles.
And waffles, yes.
Yeah, waffles.
Well, who doesn't like waffles?
Degenerates?
Adore.
And now that song is in my head.
Do you like waffles? Yeah, you like waffles.
Do you like pancakes? Yes, I like
Yeah,
Not
we
that
like
song.
pancakes.
I mean, that is a funny, catchy song, but no, I'm talking about, I forgot what the band was called, but my friends are degenerates, but I'd never say change that. Oh my god, I'm way off. Let's get to the topics here. So, first things first, something that I always contribute to is talking about Helluva Boss. Now, Helluva Boss was out a while ago, but it's been one of the most It's been one of the most anticipated episodes for a while. I mean, we're talking like some crazy shit going on. Like, I don't even know where to start in all of this. Deafhorse, why don't you go ahead and take the stage here? Give us your thoughts on the recent Helluva Boss episode.
Well, in regards to Helluva Boss, in regards to that, I'm not too big on it, but I do have it is rather entertaining, to say the least. New episode did kind of surprise me in terms of its, what ended up happening, kind of stumbling on my words on it. Although one thing that people seem to really be going on about for the episode is, of course, the musical number.
Which one?
I think he means the trip out scene.
That one.
You, my friend, are tripping
balls.
Tripping balls.
Tripping balls.
What? How could this be? I don't remember the rest of the lyrics so far.
I've never tried acid shrooms or DMT.
My lungs are full of honesty. Would you promise me?
Oh god.
Yeah.
I think people went completely insane for the fact that we got to see Luna's human form.
I mean, we've seen Luna. No, Luna appeared in her human form back in Spring Broken.
I know, but
Oh,
like, you know, the
forgot
13
about that
fans
episode.
who
Yeah, like
wanna see it
Luna
again.
breathes and everyone just like either piss their pants or just like fangirl over her.
So
Honestly,
basically, Wolfhead.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but
But
that's
for the
also
nutshell.
like the furry fandom too. So
I mean, that as well.
Alrighty then. Okay, so, unless you have anything else to say, would you like to pass the turn off to FlitterKriz?
Yeah, actually. I'm sorry.
All right, Flitter. Let's hear your thoughts.
This might strike you that I have not seen that stuff, because it might remind you of that's not exactly safe for work.
Oh right, for Flitter, yeah, I think.
It's not exactly it's not exactly SFK.
Okay, Ryley, you have the floor.
Oh, okay. God, where do I even begin? Shit. From the fucking introspection we got on the characters and what their thoughts are on each other and stuff. That was interesting. We got a deeper level understanding of them. The musical scene, the different types of animation. Honestly, I love Blitzo's scene the most, where he's going through just like all these people he's shit over in the years and who have shit at him. And just the animation stuff. You can tell they've been keeping this episode in the back burner. And I mean, like, I know, like, Vivsy was saying on Twitter how much she was looking forward to this episode's release and couldn't wait to release it and stuff. And should we even, like, bring up the fucking basically the big ass fight scene that was like watching the church scene from Kingsman in animated form?
Oh, dude, that sequence is just like. That is just like top notch, like so much like cartoon choreography on steroids.
I love how Blitzo chops a guy's head off, takes a picture, and if you go to his actual Instagram, that picture is there.
Do you have a link for it?
Let me get it.
Oh my god. Also, like, was this like tweeted somewhere that Vivsy was looking forward to having this episode out?
Yeah, she had tweeted it like a day or two before, I believe. Her and a few others, and they're like, "Oh, we're hurrying, guys. We want to get this out. We've been looking, basically all that jazz."
Okay.
I do know for a fact that people were very happy with Blitzo and Moxie's relationship being more explored in this episode.
Yeah, the introspection was like the interesting part.
Oh yeah.
And just like the amount you can get from Blitzo's daydream too, just like from the, like, what was it, Velocica, the jester from the theme park, and what's his name from episode 5, the Norman Reedus guy.
Yeah, the crazy bounty hunter guy. I forgot his name.
I'm just gonna say Norman Reedus guy. Norman Reedus.
The chat is gonna like
Norman
clarify
Reedus.
for us.
And just
Also
like
Stolas.
oh yes, the Stolas, like
Oh my god. Stolas.
the amount of well, just not just his scene in general, but just like in Blitzo's like dream sequence, just the fact that he sees Stolas as this kind of escape from his suffering, but also as a way to chain him into. You can get a lot out of just the imagery from him going up the stairs and getting the chains while his outfit's on.
yeah.
So. It's just like it's a lot to unpack, but they put so much work into this, and it's honestly probably one of my favorites of the series so far. Just how we're getting an introspection into the characters, just the animation in different scenes, the music, that Stolas scene at the end where he really shows off. Yeah, he is a fucking demon lord. So sorry, frickin' demon lord.
It's fine. You got did you find the link?
Yeah, hold on, I'm getting copying it.
Okay.
There it is.
Face. fucking face.
Just this innocent-looking face, completely unaware of what's happened, like, outside of the frame. Like, you can barely see, like, the, one of Blitz's, claws.
I love during the fight scene there was the giant rocket launcher called My Dick on it.
Yeah, you look at it like, like there's also like another shot that like apparently some notification sound effects are still playing for some reason. I don't have them in any of these screens. Anyways, wow, I lost track. No, like when the rocket launches, it also says something else, like the pussy licker or something.
Pussy Destroyer.
Yeah, Pussy Destroyer.
I was trying to be discreet for, yeah. And it just, what it leads to, too, just that ending where it's like, oh yeah, they might be outed soon, or at least have bigger problems to deal with, at least.
I mean, like, I kind of predict that, but at the same time, I'm like, how much are you willing to bet that so many people who see those all over would just assume that, oh, this is just photoshopped, or this is like fake or something like that? Because there's going to be people who will say it's fake. Anything that happens in videos are not going to be as, like, video evidence has become much less, they become a little bit more of a gray area. You know, same thing when it comes to text messages proving somebody was up to something. And some could find it that, yeah, maybe it was photoshopped. But
yeah,
but then again, it's just plot convenience that, yeah, this is just there. But with that being said, if there's anything else you would like to share, unless there is anything else you'd like to share, would you be ready to pass it to Sleepy Charm?
Honestly, I feel like I'd just be rambling at this point, so yeah, I'm gonna pass
Yeah, come on, you gotta learn to share. Alright, Sleepy. Go ahead, Sleepy.
Oh, okay, whatever. So where do I begin with this episode? Okay, I'm gonna just get into the more, how do you put this? Like, character analysis, because, whoa. Character analysis in a GoldenFox podcast. Whoa. What is it? All right. You can kind of tell there's some revealing characteristics for both Blitzo and Moxie, because I'm gonna dissect this thing like a fucking frog. Okay. The dream sequences, or at least the the subconscious sequences, not only feels more psychological, even though that's kind of the point. The thing about Blitzo is that the dude's fucked in the head, and I mean literally. Like, for the most part, he's been dealing with shit that's like fucking him since like a lot, for the most part. And I love how it characterizes like trauma as the people that he recently or like has been talking to for like the past couple of years, past couple of like centuries, or like people that he's been talking to, and then he kind of remembers them for that one specific thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he has yet to process what's been happening in his life with that person. So I love how they characterize it like that, especially with how the characters in which he talks to are very like in different styles. Like you have the clown, you have the who's that character again? The fucking clown
like
dude.
He was like a jester, a rip-off jester from the theme park.
The jester robot was like characterized as this like 1920s old school kind of like animation to make him look very to make him seem very like jokey, and yet like the jokes hurt kind of thing. And as for the rodeo cowboy, he's like this rough around the edges kind of person in his eyes. Kind of hot for him, low-key, but he still sees him as not a threat, but just someone he can't really grasp onto. And Verosika, I do relate to her in a sense, but with how she looks, she seems like she was not only like trying to get a grasp onto Blitzo, but she's also trying to basically empathize with him in a sort of way until like it's basically like the whole Icarus thing where she has flown too close to the sun when it comes to Blitz. And I think that's kind of like, well, yeah, that can be kind of weird. I can kind of see how the symbolism can be like, oh, she was very clingy onto Blitzo and he took her for granted kind of thing. And Blitzo I can understandably relate to because I've dealt with that, but not in a way that he has, but kind of psychologically, yes. And Stolas, like Ryley said, he's like the saving grace, like the last hope he has on his like life, basically, because he has all these people.
Person, basically.
Yeah, not to mention Moxie, even though he's kind of a nagger to fucking Blitz.
Wait.
He still sees him as someone that is important to him. As for Moxie, well, yeah, like I love how his characteristics in his own self-consciousness is not only something that's regal and poised and also classy, but it's also straight to the point and someone who asks so many questions and is curious. Because, you know, ballads in this case are used very well here. And I love the art style changes when it comes to like both the subconscious minds of both Blitzo and Moxie.
Where is it coming from?
Where's what coming from?
I keep getting notifications, the alert box. Like I've literally I've shut off the eye part, so there's not supposed to be any sound of the any notifications whatsoever, but it keeps on happening.
Is this for Twitch or Discord?
On Twitch.
Yeah, I just posted, so that one might be me, but I don't know why you were getting the sound over.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be getting them. Like, I literally go to the trouble of turning that off so it doesn't interrupt the conversation.
I would just try and mute it if you could.
That's what I've already tried doing.
Should I keep going or?
Yeah, keep on going.
But also, here's another thing. Millie, my girl. Millie, when she sees Moxie being in trouble, she's fucked. She's like, she got all fucked up because she's just like, no, whether or not we're gonna be in danger for these certain circumstances, we are getting my boy, whether you like it or not.
And it just went off
and
again.
I love that kind of energy because that's honestly a mood. But also, can we just talk about this beautifully choreographed fight scene between like certain angles, the animation, and like some like anime, like studio, like not Ghibli, Mappa kind of shit, or like some sort of Bones, or oh my god, I love the fight scenes, especially with like how like the camera angles and like how certain fight choreographs have been like kind of represents their personality in a way, and I love that. That's so fucking cool. Just everything about this episode is so cool on a technical aspects, because the animation, especially for an artist like me, oh my god, they've been serving me some good ass food, some good ass meals. This is like some good ass shit. Thank you, Bibsy. Thank you, girl. Love it. I love the animation. God, like, okay, you want to know how much I love the fight scene? And Def can vouch me for this. I literally played the one of the songs from Run the Jewels I think it was one of the Rick and Morty promo songs, but it was like a Run the Jewels song called what was it? Mama or some shit like that, and I played it in the fucking fight scene, and it amplified the experience for me, and I was just like, oh yes, this is more badass now. This is a lot more badass than I thought it would be, and I'm excited. I was so pumped. Oh my god. Like, this episode gets me hyped for more episodes. And I think Spring Broken was one of those episodes, but this one, oh, it gets me excited for more. I can't fucking wait, because holy shit, this might be one of my favorite episodes of the entire thing besides the pilot and Spring Broken. Sorry if I went on a big ass tangent about psychological shit.
That's what the podcast is for, is so that way we talk about all this stuff. So my favorite,
yeah.
So one of my favorite moments from Truth Seekers, aside from what you two were talking about, the epic entrance that Stolas has when possessing one of the two agents.
Oh yeah.
They're just like,
Oh, that was great.
oh yeah, no, just the way he makes his appearance. Like, yeah, of course it's going to be terrifying. It's signs of hell, but he just makes his turnaround when possessing that one agent. What's the matter, Demon Slayer? Never met a real demon before.
Yeah, he definitely showed that he is worth being a demon lord.
And a one to not fuck with.
Yeah.
Exactly, and just like he just makes it. I just like, it's also hilarious on how much the mood shifts when he goes to like check on Blitz and all the other ones. Like, are you all right?
Yeah, that's a mood.
Like,
I
okay.
love, like...
Yeah, no, it's just like after
didn't
a brief,
mention this.
after a brief second, he's like, "How the fuck did you get yourself spotted by humans? I mean, are you little gremlins not being careful enough?"
This is a mood entirely. Like, the overprotectiveness is just delicious.
I was about to say, I don't know what it is, but it kind of sounds like the dad.
It kind of does.
Oh, Stolas?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I have no idea. Like, the character looks adorable on the screen, but, yeah.
He seems very scary.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, but... Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It is.
It's a good episode.
Now, as much as I love this episode, it definitely rivals up there with Lululand, because there was something very personal in regards to Lululand in such a way, in terms of presentation and such. Like, I'm not going to say anything dismissive about Truth Seekers or anything like that. Truth Seekers definitely touched upon a lot of how the main characters and their inner insecurities have been touched upon. Mm-hmm. But Lululand had a dramatic turn in terms of, very sensitive topics about, parent and their sibling relationship or offspring relationship, and how some things can get really out of control, on how some the parents or the parental figures are not fully aware of what the child's going through, and what the child's going through is stuck in such situations. Like, there was something very, very personal in that one. But Truth Seekers definitely has something in terms of development for both of these characters on such a dramatic level, and it does it with such a bang, ranging from those hallucinations and the different animation styles and sequences from Moxie going through what looks to be like a Disney musical to the Pink Floyd's The Wall equivalent of what Blitz goes through with all the other characters, and how much they're all going to, like, it's just how many enemies he made out of his job, or just over the course of his life. And just the editing, like, just the choreography in it itself is fun to watch, with every main character showing off and having an equal amount of screen time, especially with Millie, where after she comes in for the rescue and everything, asking, like, do you need another weapon? No, I'm good, even though there's, like, plenty to choose from. Like, you've got machine guns, you got shotguns and everything, and she just sticks with just a simple axe.
Battle axe.
Yeah. Like it's kind of like reminds me of how the Joker said it best in The Dark Knight on, I like knives more than guns because they weigh in emotions. Well, there's definitely a lot of emotion when Millie's kicking ass.
Oh yeah.
So, it definitely rivals up there. Like, I know that the Harvest Moon definitely sets a lot up, but I've enjoyed Truth Seekers more than the Harvest Moon. And as far as where I would place the rest of the episodes, Spring Broken is kind of below those other two, and my least favorite episode is the Cherub episode. Which does remind me, like, how much are you willing to bet that they're going to get involved in a later episode? Because it wouldn't make sense for them to be just stuck on Earth.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Meanwhile, somebody's quoting the Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Me.
Apparently, somebody said the chat got quiet.
Aw.
Hello.
We're not dead.
Yeah, we're not dead.
Hello.
I can hear us in the Twitch thing. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, maybe it's just an issue on somebody else's end. All right, so Helluva Boss episode 6, fantastic episode. I definitely recommend it. Link down in the description for those who are watching this on YouTube. So, with that being said, I think it's time we touch upon the next topic here. So, Cinepix of the summer. This is something that's been kind of up in the air for an idea. There have been plenty of movies that I admittedly missed out on. However, a lot of us have seen various movies, and each of us, in order to have a variety, we have quite a choice to pick. We go for a single pick, and each one over the course of this year's movies are which ones that we actually liked, which ones we like the most. So, as usual, we go from top to bottom on the roster on the left, and as we do so, we pick whatever movie it is, we briefly talk about it, and then we pass the turn on to the next. So, this is to inform both FlitterKriz and Deafhorse, who have not been on the podcast before. Hopefully you get the idea.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Deafhorse, since you're the one at the top of the roster, take it away.
Okay, so the movie that I ended up choosing for this
Summer blockbuster
was the summer blockbuster was surprisingly enough the Suicide Squad. Not the 2016 version. We don't talk about that one. We pretend that one never existed.
Decent. It's decent.
Tell that to the people who like to pretend it doesn't exist.
It's decent. My God.
Okay. It has people who like it, but it's something. Okay, we can just say that.
I need
Although-
popcorn.
Anyway, this version is the 2021 version, the one directed by the ever amazing James Gunn, and this one follows the plot about Amanda Waller, the residential bitch of the DC universe, getting a new Suicide Squad to go to the island of Corto Maltese to pretty much find out whether or not there is something that's going to be used against the USA. Obviously, she's using these quote unquote villains for some sort of nefarious purpose, but pretty much it's just the team going on their character development, of course, super anti-hero villain shenanigans. Oh, and of course, Harley Quinn comes in because it wouldn't be Suicide Squad without Harley Quinn.
I mean, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I haven't seen the movie, I can only just say things off of the trailer itself, and it does look hilarious. The shark guy, he comes and grabs one of the guards going, nom nom, and just completely eats half his body. And Harley Quinn coming in like, hey, what are you guys doing? We were here to rescue you. It's like, I could just go back in and pretend that I'm still held hostage.
That's a mood.
That is definitely a mood.
No, that's a chaotic person.
You mean Galaxy.
But I'm Tish.
Ha
You never expected it, but here it is. Da-da-da-da.
But yeah, the movie itself is actually rather fun, and James Gunn definitely really had a good idea for what he was going to do with this movie. It was. I can't really comment about the 2016 version of Suicide Squad. I never watched it. Didn't want to touch it after the backlash, and especially because of Jared Leto as the Joker, which
let's not talk about yeah. No, as the name of the name of the jazz song is from the band Friendship, you know, the song that inspired Koji Kondo for the Underground theme. Let's not talk about it. Doody. Yes, that is actually a jazz song that influenced Koji Kondo. You can definitely check that out. Friendship, let's not talk about it. It came out in like 1979. Anyways, go on.
I gotta look. But anyway, even though I can't talk about that one, there is one thing that is always critical about the DC universe. Well, the DC movies anyway. They're way too cynical. Every movie they've released is always dark, gritty, and it's not really something I could say is hopeful, with the exception of course, Shazam, the Shazam movie. This one, on the other hand, kind of finally gave people the idea that the DC universe was at least trying to be fun again. Yes, the Suicide Squad is dark. It has some very, very violent moments. It is bloody. It is intense. But it's also funny as all shit. I mean, especially when you have fucking, of all people, John Cena as Peacemaker wearing that fucking silly helmet. Yeah, you can definitely tell they actually had a lot of fun making this movie. Also, the fact that they got Sylvester Stallone, of all people, to voice the fucking King Shark character. Yeah, you can definitely tell they were rolling around with this movie.
Nom nom?
Nom nom?
Nom nom.
I can't get over that. I just see that and I was just bursting into laughter. I'm like, oh my god. He just grabs like a fucking guard and just consumes him immediately. Like, oh, okay, well, I know where this movie's going.
I kind of feel like they were trying to do something similar with Groot and what was his fucking name? Not Vin Diesel. Who voiced fucking Groot in the Marvel movies? I keep forgetting. Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I can't really comment because I don't watch the Marvel movies. I'm not a superhero fanatic.
Yeah, same here.
Like
I'm not a fanatic either.
Yeah. It's like I can like with superhero movies, they're just okay. It's just not my thing. The only superhero movie I really watched was this one, Joker, and that's basically it. But again, this one actually piqued my interest because again, it was fun, it was entertaining, it was darkly humorous, and it definitely had some very creepy had some really dark moments, especially for the type of movie that it is. And if I may, and Galaxy can vouch me on this, John Cena as Peacemaker is one of the best things of the movie. You can definitely tell he was giving it his all with this film. Because, you know, John Cena is already been known to be an actor. Although the only thing I'm more familiar with when it comes to John Cena is, of all things, that fucking Fred movie he was in, where he just played the dad in the mind of the main character. Which apparently that had to be a fucking thing. Thanks a lot, Nickelodeon. But here, he definitely really, really fucking went all out with this film. He's funny, he's evil of all things, and he's a bit of a... Yeah, you can definitely notice his, what's the one I'm looking for? You can definitely tell he does play off the role of being kind of secretive, but at the same time, you can definitely tell he's more... has a very big nefarious purpose behind that chisel behavior of his. Yes, sweetie doggy?
Can I just say?
Yeah?
This is the closest, for WWE fans, this is probably the closest we'll ever get to for an actual heel John Cena.
An actual
heel? Yeah, that's the
heel?
closest we will get to it.
Yeah, if you really think about it, besides Thugonomics and all that shit. Besides that, yeah.
Because we're so used to seeing John Cena as, like, the good guy. I mean, in terms of real life, because he's just that much of a sweetheart. But yet, this movie, you can definitely tell that despite being this good person, this hero, you can definitely tell there's some sort of underlying villainy under him. especially for the irony of being called a peacemaker.
I just like to say that I love how he's probably one of the most accurate depictions of U.S. foreign policy. But that's another thing.
Yeah, of course. You would.
Of course.
I mean, to be fair, you're not wrong.
And I gotta break the silence because every time you guys say his full name, in my head, I'm getting blasted with.
Yep, that meme. That meme.
I'm trying my best to keep it inside, but it's so hard. I'm just like, don't say anything, don't say anything.
John Cena! It's everywhere.
I know it's 4 a.m., but still, my brain, why?
But of course, the other best thing about this movie is obviously Harley Quinn. Even though she, honestly, for me, she wasn't really that.
My girl.
Your girl, aka Galaxy in real life. I mean, am I wrong?
No. Sleepy Quinn.
Don't blow her cover. Shh, shh, shh.
Oh yeah. Don't blow my cover. Don't blow my cover, Daph. Oh my god.
But you can definitely see that. Well, for me anyway. I honestly felt she wasn't really that utilized, at least in the beginning. I kind of felt they just threw her in going, oh, look, did you remember her? She was in Birds of Prey, and she was in the other Suicide Squad. But afterwards, oh, hell yeah, she definitely fucking went with the plots. I think... I also like the fact they kind of gave her some character development. I'm not going to spoil what ended up leading to the character development, but you can definitely see she's going in the direction that the comics made her for. That she was villainous, that she was just simply doing it because she thought that the person she was in love with cared for her. He really didn't. He was a fucking piece of shit, and we all know it. And yet in the movie, they actually accelerated it instead of the comics going, oh, she's still with this piece of shit for, like, a couple more issues. And then after that, breaking up to go with Poison Ivy. Whereas in this one, she's actually fucking progressing. Also, no, I have no problem with her being with Poison Ivy. If she's with Poison Ivy,
hell yeah.
Go get her, girl. Go get her, girl.
All right. So, anything else you want to add before we pass the turn off to FlitterKriz?
Once again, Galaxy is the real life fucking Harley Quinn. You cannot change my thought otherwise.
Okay. All right, so FlitterKriz, you now have the limelight.
Uh-oh. Hi. I'm here to talk about something totally opposite of what we were just talking about, because I want to talk about the one movie I have seen this year, which is Fatherhood. And it's starring Kevin Hart. So he's a comedian, if people know him. Or if you don't know him, then you know now that he is a comedian. He is also having the skit of being very short. But as far as I know, he is a good person. Basically, in this movie, he is playing a father who... Or, not a father in the beginning. He's playing, like... He has his girlfriend, and they are trying their best to work together, and then she gets pregnant. And a little spoiler, or else I can't continue. She dies in childbirth. So... he then ends up having to go through everything that is to be a single father. So everything from challenge with a full-time job, a kid, and friends who are not exactly how did I put it? They're more like they're still in the teenager phase, even though they are grown-ups, so they're more focusing on other stuff, but they try their best to help him, so it becomes a lot of funny shenanigans. And then you also have the challenging with all the emotional stuff, and then the mother of the mother who passed tries to help, and those type of challenges as well. So this kind of becomes like a comedy, emotional, I can't English. Yeah, okay, that word escaped my head. It's basically a little bit of drama, but mostly family fun and emotional stuff that happens. And I think he does an amazing job portraying a father. I don't know if he's a father in real life, but he does a pretty good job. And it's like, if you need something emotional, either because you have kids yourself or maybe are thinking about having kids, I can really recommend this movie. So it can give you a little itty-bitty tiny view into how possibly being a parent is. You also get to see a little bit of the, like, oh, it's always single mothers, or the mother is always doing everything, and kind of like how he handles when people ask, oh, where's the mother, and stuff like that. I don't have a lot to say because the movie itself says most of it, to be honest, but I do have a link to the bloopers, which I think is really fun.
Yes, and that is also going to be the video that she will provide in a much later topic. So,
yeah,
this definitely sounds like the type of movie that would definitely tug at people's heartstrings.
Yes, big time. Like, I saw it with my dearest, boyfriend. I saw it with my boyfriend, and he was sitting there, like, I saw that he got, like, touched, but he didn't cry, and then I'm sitting next to him just like, ah! So yeah, it's gonna make you cry. Both sad cry and happy cry. So, yeah.
All right. Anything else you would like to add?
Basically, this is something, if you want to bond more with your own parents, this might be the movie to watch with them. You can both laugh, talk about things, ask about things, and you get a little chance to get closer with your parents, if you wish to. That's my recommendation.
All right. So, Ryley, you're up.
Vivo.
Vivo.
So this is another Sony animated picture. By the way, I just want to add that Sony's been kind of knocking out of the park this year with animated films.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, there's another movie in which I'll be going over when it's my turn, and it's made by some people who have the utmost respect in terms of animation producing.
So this is an animated film that was produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So yeah, it was basically, when it comes to musicals, this year has also been really good. But as far as like one of my favorites is definitely Vivo. Just, this has been a passion project for Lin-Manuel Miranda for like over a decade now. He apparently like wrote a lot of these songs back in 2009 and has been trying to like get them pitched around. He was originally supposed to get it with DreamWorks, but for some reason it didn't get picked up. I forget all the details. And then Sony Animation did it, and it's just like it's pretty much their first musical that I know of, and they pretty much hit right out of the park with the visuals. The songs themselves I just keep listening to on repeat, like most of them. The characters, I could see some people having a problem with the characters, including like the main little girl character in her, but I kind of like her personality a bit, even if I could see how it would be grating for others. Just some of the style with, like, especially in the song sequences. I'm not going to go into detail because there's some spoilers that way, but if you haven't seen Vivo, definitely check it out. If you're a big musical lover, if you love Lin-Manuel Miranda for, like, let's see, Hamilton, In the Heights, pretty much anything he's worked on.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about In the Height as well. Obviously, that's not what we're talking about, but no, I felt like. Go ahead.
Sorry, it was another contender, but Vivo just won me out more because the visuals and some of the songs I just listened to more than In the Heights.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much of the plot because there is some spoilers that I think some people need to go into blind, but just I can't praise this movie enough, and yeah, we have a lot to talk about tonight, so I'm just gonna go on from there.
All right.
I have yet to see that movie, actually.
Same here.
Lie.
There's actually
Lie.
there's an enormous amount of movies that are being talked about that I haven't seen yet.
Same.
Which I know that's definitely a mood right there, but anybody who asks or wonders why I haven't, it's simply because I just have a bunch of real life stuff to deal with. So originally, when I was setting this topic up, my homework was supposed to be watching a majority of the films that they wanted to pick. However, I just couldn't make the time for it. So at the very least, like, I could definitely give these a try, and anybody who hasn't seen them yet, people in this podcast can definitely tell you all about it. So, Ryley, anything else you would like to add?
No, I think I'm good. See Vivo. Let's move on. We got a crap load to talk about tonight. So.
All right, Sleepy, your turn. And I'm gonna.
Okay, give me a fucking minute. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I can already predict it. Go right ahead.
Give me a minute.
Oh boy.
Okay. So, just to get things out of the way, hold on, let me fix my hair.
Very important.
Perfect. All right. Before anyone, or probably I'm saying this because I want to get it out of the way. Yes, I am aware of the controversy surrounding this particular movie I'm going to talk about.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
aware that the animators don't get as much credit as they should have. I'm kind of aware that not many people like this movie.
What is the movie?
For some reason. With that being said, Space Jam 2 is freaking good. Oh my god! I was so happy that I was right. It was like Spider-Verse levels of like the the best experience I've ever had in an animated film. Oh my god! I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys my history with this movie. So I think like a day before the movie comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, like it was like 10 p.m. I was like, oh shit, Space Jam 2 is gonna come out in the next 2 hours. So I tried to hype myself up simply by just watching a couple things. And then I 2 hours later, surprisingly enough, I got away with basically trying to make myself some food, like some popcorn in the middle of the night. Making myself some popcorn, some soda, some snacks, that kind of thing. And I grabbed my laptop, and Def can vouch for me for this because he witnessed some of it. And 12 a.m. hits, and I was checking to the movie. I was watching the movie, and let me tell you, it's good. It's not a masterpiece, though. I can safely say that because Space Jam 1 is a classic for a reason. It's no, don't get me wrong.
Soundtrack.
In the next 20 to 30 years, perhaps, it'll be a classic to some people. Next 20 or 30 years. I'm giving it that kind of, yeah. But I spent at least the entire night or the past entire, night or day basically thinking or watching Space Jam 2. And I love this movie to bits. I even have their fucking clothing line collaboration and shit that I'm completely wearing at the moment, or I'm currently wearing at the moment. So with that being said, with how much I love this movie, I'm gonna talk about the more technical aspects. Let's talk about the more let's talk about the more voice actor perspective, or Eric Bauza. My dude has talent. The dude is a triple threat when it comes to talent. This dude can sing, this dude can voice act, this dude can even draw for some reason.
And
that we love a multi-talented person in this household, but oh my god, LeBron James isn't the greatest actor though. I'm not gonna get into details, but he's not the greatest actor in this movie, but he's trying. But the animation, oh, where the hell to begin? The animation. Oh, Spider-Verse, Promare. Oh, you have a contender. The animation for this is so not only mixed, but they reference certain movies from The Matrix to even movies that were like around 1959 or some shit, or like the black and white movie days, which is like so fucking cool, especially. And not to mention just everything about like one of the main villains is just like this like hype beast kind of dude. He has this like very like aggressive personality, and I love that for him. Like he's like this calm, collected person, but he's just like this like monster underneath. And I love the looks can be deceiving kind of thing. I know it's been a thing in Pixar. Yeah, like I know, but I just love that kind of characteristics besides from Pixar. So, bleh. But just the story is very cookie cutter-ish, but it kind of makes up for the visual aspects of it, if you know what I mean. Also, the soundtrack bumps, but it doesn't, how do I put this? It doesn't leave a mark as much as like, let's say Spider-Verse, the last Space Jam movie, or like any, like I think the Black Panther movie and like a shit ton of movies, Vivo, as Ryley would mention. It doesn't stick as much, but it does kind of contribute to the movie as a whole. Like not story-wise, but it's there. So yeah, the amount of references that this movie throws is amazing, especially especially some of the more basketball shade at fucking LeBron is just amazing. Because he mentioned, like, yeah, I'd rather not go into detail, but oh my god, just this movie was one of my favorite movies of this year, and probably one of my favorite animated movies of all fucking time.
That's definitely a lot to say.
Yeah, so I was so excited, and I am in love with this movie a whole fucking lot, especially since I've been begging GoldenFox to be like, hey, can we just talk about this, please? Because I am containing my excitement from talking about this. And he's just like, I mean, maybe, but you know.
Okay, so there's two factors back to back in regards to anticipating this movie. The first of which, I was incredibly discouraged when I saw the Rotten Tomato score being at 29, which is extremely low, and it kind of irritates me sometimes.
That's no, ew, why?
And on the other hand, I was willing to give the movie a chance, but I got sidetracked by a bunch of real-life bullshit. I am willing to give the movie a shot. However,
yeah.
The thing that, like, a pet peeve that I have is whenever it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, okay, this is definitely going to come out biased explaining this. And frankly, anybody who gets upset at the Rotten Tomatoes scores is going to come out biased because of how their feelings are.
Yeah.
That being said, my most hated movie is obviously Chicken Little. Chicken Little is at a 36%. It deserves a fucking 0. Or at least 10%. Space Jam is ranked lower than that. You're telling me that Space Jam 2 is worse than the movie with a horrible father, having no plot, ruining the Disney canon, and having names like Fish Out of Water, Runt of the Litter. The writing couldn't get any more lazy. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It was Disney trying to be Shrek and keeping up with the competition. It's Disney being who they shouldn't be. And you're telling me that Space Jam 2 is worse than this?
Yeah, that's... Okay, let me just put it like this. In terms of a father-son story, it's a cookie cutter kind of scenario, if you know what I mean. Because it's literally like if you throw away aside the whole last like Looney Tunes aspect or like the Warner Brothers like marketing aspects of it all, it's literally a father-son story, which is one of the few ones that I can actually say is good. Chicken Little? You mean to tell me that this freaking movie of like what like this
it's a movie that deserves to be chucked into the sun.
Yeah. You mean to tell me that this movie, which is like dog poop in comparison to like Space Jam 2, is a lot more better? No, these people who rated that more than Space Jam 2 need to be Clockwork Orange. Electric chair.
That's pretty excessive.
And I'm not saying this because, oh, you don't like what I like. It's not even because of that. It's mostly because Chicken Little is one of the most universally hated movies,
Rightfully
especially
so.
for Disney, and at its time especially. And you mean to tell me that this freaking abomination of a movie gets more high ratings,
rating,
like a lot, absolutely, but it gets more higher ratings than freaking Space Jam 2, which has more effort in animation wise, and like they mix like 3D to 2D animation so well. I'm sorry, Rotten Tomatoes is rigged. You don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Just don't listen to them.
And
it's best if you just like cancel Rotten Tomatoes altogether because of this shit.
I think cancel is a bit of an excessive word. It just don't even bother to bring up, just Rotten Tomatoes is always like out in the open of how idiotic the ratings can be by a bunch of numbers. Like some people said it best, the site is just numbers, but it's been put on a pedestal for many years whenever it came to film releases and such, and such a marketable term. Like if it's certified fresh, it has the certified fresh slapped on the DVD or Blu-ray cover when it's out on the said Blu-ray DVD cover.
I think for movie critics, especially like you, Golden, sorry if I'm interrupting.
Go ahead.
It's the equivalent to, what's the term? Hate watching. It's the equivalent to hate watching, where people look at a film and see the Rotten Tomatoes score and think, oh, don't listen to them. But then you just you can't help but just look at the rating because it's Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, one of the most the most used reviewing critical freaking
So it's definitely in that situation that if there is a movie that is ranked lower than Chicken Little, you better fucking explain it to me very well, because I could go on a tirade all day. Like the chat is already aware, like, oh wow, we don't talk that name in front of him. Like, okay, I know there's people out there who like Chicken Little, and I'm not gonna go after you or anything like that. I'm not gonna send a mob or some shit, because there's always gonna be those people who have different opinions on something. If I were to make a more accurate, an accurate rating for a movie that Chicken Little deserves, like a fucking 10 or a 9. And if I really wanted to, a fucking 0. And yes, movies on Rotten Tomatoes can have a 0% rating. It's doable.
I like how the chat is like making it seem like Chicken Little is the biggest curse word for GoldenFox.
It kind of
it's like one of those those Twitter things where people put pound keys, one of the star pound keys on certain words to make it bleeped out and stuff. Yeah, that's like Chicken Little to you, Golden.
So I like I said, it's definitely biased in what I say in that regard. I also found out the original Mortal Kombat movie is 1% lower than Chicken Little. No. No.
No. She's dying right now.
Sorry, BS. Sorry, I can't handle this BS. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Also, a little
Go
I
ahead.
kind of also to add to I also wanted to add a little something with Galaxy. One thing that Galaxy and I noticed was that a certain person we follow literally said that the movie Space Jam was terrible because it was also an example of being corporate, despite the fact that that's literally how the first movie was. Did they not see the marketing?
And that's like every movie, especially like every Marvel movie. And you already know how I feel about Marvel movies, Golden, when it comes to like, you remember like the freaking GoldenFox podcast about Mortal Kombat, and considering how like Marvel has been barfing a lot of like Marvel movies for the past like decade or so.
Every fucking month or every few months.
Yikes. Okay, so let's completely putting aside Rotten Tomatoes and, you know, what the negative complaints were with Space Jam, because I know a lot of people did not like this movie. And, you know, to each of their own.
Understatement.
Very big understatement.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, 29? That's pretty excessive. Like, I kind of expected the movie to be dumb whenever I would come to anticipate this movie. So, I already know what I would get myself into when it comes to that. So, anything else you would like to add on Space Jam before I take the final turn?
Space Jam 2 is good. Y'all are just too harsh on it, especially the creator.
Oof.
Ooh.
Okay, then.
So,
Yeah.
Golden podcast discussion.
Oh, hang on.
So, what
What's
is it?
going on here?
Just somebody was asking something.
Oh. Am I allowed in, or is...
I gotta say, it's been quite a different range of movies so far.
Yeah, actually. So, taking my final turn, so my pick, and it's kind of being a little out there because it was out roughly during the springtime and not the summer, but I kind of want to include that because it would be doable. Like, I could imagine that if Bliss or Solar were here, they would have picked, like, Godzilla vs. Kong or some shit like that. So, my pick... so far this year, and it's probably my favorite movie this year, unless otherwise, is none other than The Mitchells versus the Machines. That movie is...
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, that movie is an absolute masterpiece in and of itself. And the big thing, and like as Ryley said earlier, Sony is definitely kicking off with some of their releases like Vivo and such, but the Mitchells versus the Machines is created by Chris Miller and who's the other guy?
Phil Lord.
Phil Lord. Okay. It took like 5 seconds for that one. But yeah, Chris Miller and Phil Lord, they've been at the top of their game with their releases, who were also behind Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, definitely one of my favorite movies, peaking right up there. And the Lego Movie, which was very clever in its own way, and it definitely had its own following. The Mitchells versus the Machines is definitely another one of those inclusions. Compared to the other ones, I believe The Mitchells versus the Machines, is it an original movie, or was it based off of an existing material? Like, was it based on a book, or...
That I can't remember. Oh, also, you forgot to mention that it was also co-directed and co-written by Gravity Falls writers, so...
Okay, that definitely adds in a lot, because they definitely know how to work with some running jokes that never got old, because it's just like, the thing that always gets me is when the dog gets analyzed by the robots, and they're having trouble identifying of whether or not it's supposed to be a dog or a pig, and they go through a system error.
Dog, pig,
Dog, pig, dog, pig, loaf of bread, system error, pig, pig.
Dog can be used as a defense mechanism against intelligent robots.
Yeah,
Gotta
it's...
think, okay, is it the robots or is it the dog?
Okay, so somebody said it's not based on a book. Okay, so yeah, no, this is a movie that was its own material, and looking at it from its own material, aside from the comedy, obviously they touch upon the family matters about the importance of family values and focusing too much on looking at social media and everything like that. It's greatly commentated on compared to a certain movie that came out a few years ago that was just heavily on marketing and turned out to be a pile of garbage. Ironically enough, by the same studio, oof, just big oof. But they did justice by having a proper commentary about the importance of, spending time with some people and not relying too much on technology. And that whole thing completely turned it on its head by talking about the cliche that is how taking technology for granted and how advancing technology can be a consequence to the human race. Like Terminator did this, The Matrix did this. There have been plenty of titles in which I would have to search up a laundry list in order to spell out. But DuskFlare, thank you for joining in. Something you would like to add?
Where are you up to?
I'm up to my turn talking about the Mitchells versus the Machines as my pick of the summer.
I did see the trailer. It looks really good. I do really, really want to see it, especially since everyone has been raving that it's really, really good.
It's a wonderful movie. Definitely worth a watch.
I will definitely check it out as soon as I have time.
All right. So earlier you said you wanted to say something? Or I think you wanted to mention something earlier?
Oh, no. I'm just here to listen to everyone's recommendations.
Okay, so just to catch up to speed, Deafhorse, his pick is The Suicide Squad. FlitterKriz is Fatherhood. Ryley's is Vivo on Netflix. And Sleepy's is Space Jam 2, A New Legacy. Or Space Jam, A New Legacy. Sorry, I don't know why it's always a habit of saying 2 next to Space Jam. So, yeah, so obviously you haven't seen any movies this year?
I have not had time.
Okay. Busy job and everything?
I had 3 jobs up until a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely a whole different can of worms. So, do you at least have a video you would like to oh, wait, that's... Well, okay, just to know in advance. Because there's a topic where we share videos with each other, or we talk about them.
I have recently gotten into TikTok, so I could do some recommendations from there if you'd like.
Okay, I do recommend just one video, so that way it doesn't...
Sure.
Yeah. Alright, so with that being said, I think it's time we move on to the can of worms that is Nintendo Direct that came out just recently. Oh boy, let me just say this right now. I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of the titles. I'm definitely going to anticipate to Kirby and the I forgot the name. It's the one with the giant city, and I like that they're working with a 3D environment of a mechanic. I'm also going to be anticipating fucking Metroid Dread. Everybody's talked about that, yeah. So, but we can definitely have this as an open, discussion if other people would like to provide their own thoughts on something, because there was a lot going on in the Nintendo Direct. The Forgotten Land, that's what it was. Thank you, Amethyst Majesty 25. All right, so who would like to join the conversation on that?
I would.
All right.
I mean, so far, the Nintendo Direct, this is from a fresh mind. It's pretty fucking good. It's pretty good. The Kirby game I was so excited for, and also Bayonetta 3 and Animal Crossing. They're bringing back after what seems to be the year from release of the Animal Crossing New Horizons, they're finally bringing back the Roost, aka the Animal Crossing cafe kind of thing, and I'm super excited about that because that means I get to play it again. And Bayonetta 3 is just the creme de la creme. Oh, and oh my god!
I still remember when I streamed the video with a couple of us in a Discord call. Vlad was there and he was raving. He's a big Bayonetta fan. He's like, yes!
Same.
I cannot do justice impersonating his reactions. All it is loud noise, excitement, and loud noise.
That was hilarious.
Same thing with me. Same thing with me for a little bit. Yeah, it was. I got to watch this with Ryley, and I got a little too excited. I got a little too excited for the entire time I was watching the direct. So yeah.
Who would have
Yes, right?
guessed? Who would have guessed that you would get a little excited?
Why?
Who would have known that? Who had to constantly turn down your volume and turn up the volume of the stream in order to hear what was going on over all the yelling?
I mean, I was a little excited.
You would literally go like for like 10 minutes at a time after each game.
I mean, not every game. I didn't like the freaking card game that they announced.
Oh yeah,
But-
Nintendo's answer to Hearthstone. But I'm
Yeah, that's well, technically Square Enix is, yeah, but
But
Yeah, but with
That
Wizards going
excited?
under, it might be a good idea.
yeah, but I wasn't that excited from the thing.
So,
Uh-huh.
Sleepy, I gotta say, except for the good doggo's Vlad reaction to his waifu getting another game, you were the loudest one.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I may or may not cried in the call when I watched it with Brian. I think I sent a GIF to Golden at like DMs. It was basically like a GIF of like SpongeBob in like the pilot or some shit, where he was just like crying on the fucking grounds, and he's just like absorbing the tears and making the tears again. That was me. That was me when watching the direct.
All right. So, I don't have much to say about Metroid Dread.
Oh my god, Metroid Dread.
Yeah, I can
Somebody
understand.
has something to say.
Yeah, no, I've understood. Like, I'm understanding the plot a little bit more because they definitely take the knowledge of what happened back in Metroid Fusion. And I like that it keeps up with the continuity. The game is definitely going to look more intimidating. Like I think they're going to play off they're definitely going to play off the mechanics of what was the what is it called, the SAX, which definitely created that sense of fear, and you have to run and haul ass for your life. But on the other hand, this one you're running from this giant fucking machine that looks intimidating. Like, you see thumbnails of Samus, and she's got this like intimidating look on her face, like, oh shit, what is this? But
I think what I love about the Metroid Dread, should I just mention this? The what was it called? It was the I love the 3D 2D mix with Metroid Dread, because it's like it comes to show that they're progressing with this franchise, and it's giving the love it deserves in this modern day and age. Because nowadays, some people that are like, newer in this generation don't really understand the hype for Metroid, and for others, it's like you don't understand. This means so much to us.
oh, it definitely meant a lot to me. In fact, I remember months ago when I was napping with Chrissy, or Keyframe, and she wakes me up. I was like, hey, Brett, you can take a look at this. It's another Metroid game. It's like, oh, is this like Metroid 4, Prime 4 that everyone's talking about? Wait, this is Metroid 5? Oh, shit! Main entry! Call me in! It's like, oh, yeah.
No, my god, the way I woke up to this, like, when I was watching my TV for like from the Nintendo like thing, and one of the videos that I watched for this particular topic is Arlo's reaction to the whole thing, and I didn't know what it was until I saw the title or everything that's in the trailer. The way I cried in that particular day, because I was like, what the heck, are they actually bringing this back? What the heck? Because I the entire time I woke up crying to the Metroid Dread announcement, because I've been waiting for a Metroid game in years.
Yeah, no, okay, so disregarding, the Metroid Prime series, the main entries, Fusion and Dread, we're talking a span of 19 years.
Yeah.
And I found out some interesting information, like, it was originally going to be a DS game, but because of the hardware limitations and how much ambition Nintendo was putting into it, they had to push it to the next-gen console. And it started to repeat itself over and over again until finally they were able to get it through on the Switch. So,
which is the greatest thing ever, honestly.
It's like, it's one of those things where I think Shigeru Miyamoto said it best about something about if you're producing something too quick or something about taking your time to make things right. There's a certain, like, rhyming quote that he had, and it's like, I'm itching to find what that quote is. Hopefully, when the game comes out, we'll know for sure if it's proving correct over what he said. But, since Sleepy has been talking a lot about Nintendo Direct, who else would like to share their input on it before we talk about the elephant of the room?
I don't know what the elephant in the room is gonna be, except if it's the...
It would be the Mario movie cast. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
but
it's not that. For me... sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Flitter.
Okay. Thank you. For me, it's that I have a thing that I think subscription is scary, especially if it's not like a life dependent thing. So that Nintendo Switch Online is not a subscription is for me a big no. So no. That I got really sad hearing that, because I was looking forward to getting a Nintendo Switch so I could play with all my friends and I could play Breath of the Wild and all that other fun games. But now that I hear that that's becoming as a subscription, or have become a subscription, makes me very sad and it upsets me.
Yeah, Nintendo wants to figure out a way to get more monies out of your pocket for nostalgia.
Heck.
speaking of which,
That's what their bread and butter is.
Oh, you want to add something, Ryley?
the whole expansion pass thing has me kind of wondering, oh god, how much are they going to start charging for actually having N64 games finally on the Nintendo Switch Online?
Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's like that buy one get one free scenario where you get the subscription, right? You get the subscription and then you get the expansion pass. Even though it would cost like a lot of freaking money, I feel like that would be the case for the expansion pack.
I feel like what they're going to do is, I'm not certain of this, but I'm afraid they might actually go the whole Sony and Microsoft thing and charge $60 a year for subscription to the Nintendo Switch
Hasn't
Online.
Nintendo already been doing that though?
They did the $20 a year for the current system.
Oh, so they're probably going to raise up the annual price.
That's my guess, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. In regards to that, if they're going to allow Genesis games in there, please include Sonic 3. I'm going to be one of the few people and say that Sonic 2 is slightly overrated. Sonic 3 has all three of the characters, you have more levels and more exploration, and it's a hell of a lot more rewarding. Sonic 2 definitely pushed its boundaries and fixed the problems the first Sonic game had, but it's so linear, and it's not as forgiving as Sonic 3 is. And Sonic 3 has a lot more to offer.
I'm wondering who's actually going to pay the $50 to have the N64 and Genesis controllers for the thing.
I mean, I get that Nintendo wants to reinvent the experience to new generations in order to try to get the feel of them, because trying to work with whatever controllers you have, it really all depends based on what the game was designed for. Like, if you're playing N64 games, you're dealing with certain button arrangements and everything. Like, I will say this much. Back when I had the Wii, and I was able to connect to the internet and get a couple of games, I had to do some odd readjustments, like, because there's A and there's B and there's C and there's all that shit. In regards to, let's say, Zelda Ocarina of Time, I had to get used to working with other buttons and, like, making some adjustments there. Or Mega Man X, where you jump and shoot and everything with its set of buttons. And, like, you press B to jump, you press Y to shoot, you press A to dash. I had to do that with like a different button setup on the GameCube controller. So there's that whole situation. And it's doable, but you're not going to get this, like, I'm not going to get that. What the hell is going on with the frickin'...
The what?
Oh, wow. The frickin' spectrum is, like, acting weird on the screen. Anyways, I'm not going to look down on anybody who chooses to, work with that, because I work with that all the time whenever I'm playing certain games. Games on Steam, you readjust to whatever controller that you have, or gamepad. Same thing if you have, let's say, Among Us on Switch, or other games that are for different consoles. So, it's nothing new at this point, but trying to get the feel or the experience of what the original hardware it was set up for in a manner, it's very understandable. So, I don't fault Nintendo for that.
It's just that the N64 controller...
is garbage?
Yeah.
No, like, actually, I've seen somebody do, like, a modification of an N64 controller where it has the similar shape of an Xbox controller, where you have the joystick and the D-pad are close to each other, and you have 4 separate C buttons along with a... what's it called? Yeah, just basically with button setup where you have A and B and you have like the other 4 C buttons.
Yeah.
And you have L and R or Z and R based off of how they had to work with that. And they have both like Z and R like in one of the 2 spots, or they have it on both sides. Like, that's something people would automatically get used to because of the years of getting accustomed to the GameCube controller, which is a godsend compared to the N64 controller.
Oh, I love the GameCube controller.
Like, you would think that a cluster of all the buttons in one controller would be excessive, but they managed to make it work. It feels comfortable. The button layout is so convenient. It's oddly shaped, but it's so convenient. Like, call it unconventional, but it works. Like, you got the big A button, you got the small B button, and the 2 rounding shaped buttons like X and Y. And yeah, I could go on a tirade on how good that is. Like, it's definitely like one of my favorite controller designs next to the Super NES. And it's not just because of it's not just because Super NES was my favorite console. It's comfortable in the bone shape. As much as I respect the original NES, that blocky shape has always been uncomfortable for years. But this is something for newer audiences or newer generations to get the feel of if they're definitely up for it. So, anyways, continue, Ryley. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, it's just like, for the Kirby game, too, it's just like, I've been kind of bored with the Kirby series for, like, the past few years, because I'm just sick of 2D Kirbys, and I've been wanting a 3D Kirby ever since the Crystal Shards, so... I'm definitely going to pick up that.
Isn't the Crystal Shards 2D, technically?
Well, it's like 2.5D, so it's not entirely 3D, but, like, I wonder if the reason why they're making a Kirby game in 3D now is that they got kind of the whole, like, copy ability thing from Super Mario Odyssey, from him capturing, like, different animals and things and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe they thought, well, we can do that with Kirby's copy ability in 3D maybe and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to the Kirby game. Yeah, that's up on the list. And
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And finally having Ocarina of Time on my Switch so I can play it in my bed and finally finish the frickin' water temple.
Dude, Ryley? You okay over there, Flitter?
Yeah, just PTSD from the water temple.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, it's just, everybody do yourselves a favor, just get a strategy guide and get through the water temple. Oh, it's cheating if you use a strategy guide. No, it's not. There's a reason why Nintendo published it.
In my time, we did not have access to that. I had to work my base turret.
Everybody grab the Flitter and calm her down.
I've never heard of Ryley so much.
It's the PTSD.
It is.
I mean, 3DS is, I guess, the remake is decent, but I don't know, I want the full rumble controls and stuff on it. And,
some people just like to go for the older experience, which is fine, to each their own. But, whew, But yeah, nowadays, look up online to look up that shit, because it was even said somewhere that Shigeru Miyamoto even regrets that temple.
Oh yeah, he regretted that.
I will say this, like, slightly off topic. As much as people hated the water temple, I hated the shadow temple, because when trying to figure everything out myself, it's like, okay, so there's a scene where you have a pillar, and there's a giant pit across, and Ellie tells me, apparently I'm supposed to throw it across the pit, blow up a row of bombs, and knock it over. How was anybody supposed to figure that out? Because up until that point, I had to rely on that magnifying glass, where you can see through things, and it uses your magic a little.
Wasn't there like a lot of like time travel involved with the Shadow Temple too?
No, that was the Spirit Temple, which was a much better dungeon. I love the hell out of that temple. Yeah.
It's just so much in this direct. It's honestly feels better than the E3 direct we got a few months ago. It's
Yeah.
just, like, packed to the brim. Like, yeah, there was a few outliers like the Square Enix Hearthstone card game thing, but just like Bayonetta 3, finally having
Bayonetta 3, yes.
Online, a 3D Kirby game.
Splatoon 3, yeah.
And the other news that we'll get to later, but
Yeah, again, there's a giant pin on that giant elephant in the room. DuskFlare, Deafhorse, Flitter, anything you want to say on Nintendo Direct?
Not really. I didn't get a chance to really watch a direct.
Okay.
So working.
Like, do yourself a favor, Nintendo. Take away the subscription stuff.
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think that's pretty much the norm now.
Like, instead, just have people ask people to pay for the individual. Like, make them able to buy the games through the console or something.
Especially like, oh, you're like a bundle. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Like,
I mean,
they can
yeah.
buy the capability to have an emulator.
I thought that was the case for like, if you were to get a subscription, you would get like a bundle of games. I don't know.
No, the problem is they got rid of the virtual console because they wanted to entice people to get the subscription service. So it's
a manipulative corporate tactic.
Yeah.
Oh, now my innocence is gone. Fuck. I just thought that maybe with this subscription, you could get like a whole set of games that you've never played before, or you've played before during like the prime time of Nintendo and like Sega Genesis and all that. Nope, you literally have to buy every single thing with your buckaroos, and it like with like individually too, and it's like, oh, well, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not gonna do this.
It's just the problem I've had again with the Switch Online service is that they've been like putting all these games out at snail's pace, and I get it. The NES and the SNES have their time to shine. They're very classic retro games. They have their place in history.
Give some love to the later consoles.
Exactly. Get N64 and GameCube. Just can I have more 3D games?
Yeah, I know. Like I will also it should be worth mentioning that we already know that Mario 64. It's actually kind of hilarious that Mario 64 is part of the bundle pack or just part of the whole system, and yet some people are frustrated. Like, we had a physical copy of that last year that had also Sunshine and Galaxy. Like, what the fuck? So they kind of feel ripped off there. But also the ability to play Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and along with Star Fox 64, that game was the shit back in my childhood.
Paper Mario.
I have yet to play Paper Mario, but
Majora's Mask, you could just stay over there.
I think now I've reached a problem with Nintendo Online now that I realized it. This is like one of those things where I know this is not really a likely chance, and I know this is not how subscriptions work, especially with Nintendo. I feel like this is the type of subscription that you would literally have your cellular like provide you for. Because unfortunately, as much as $20 a year sounds like, beautiful, great. like with how you have to literally buy every single old school game from back then, not just like a whole bundle, but just that alone, and it's like, oh, well then, all right.
I'm kind of confused what you mean by that, because they come free with your subscription, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's basically what I mean. I wish that would be the case, but no, yeah.
Oh, that's right. They had Banjo-Kazooie too. That's right.
Yeah, a couple of rare games.
Banjo-Kazooie was a thing.
Somebody's been waiting for GoldenEye to come back, and some people are saying there may be licensing issues. It's made by Rare. Rare also published like a couple of other games.
Well, there is kind of licensing issues there and stuff.
That's literally what I just said. Am I missing something here?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
I might be missing something, but was there a Kid Icarus game in the Nintendo Online, or is that not in the thing?
Kid Icarus was first on NES, and then I think it had its own like another release on the Wii. I could be wrong.
I know,
there.
but I mean like in the Nintendo Online.
Besides
the original game from the 80s, I believe so. Yeah, the NES one.
Okay, but honestly, I'm not knowledgeable of Kid Icarus, but I thought we would get a Kid Icarus game.
Well, I mean, the last one we got.
I genuinely thought that maybe that would be the case, but no. Which is like, okay, fine.
The problem is the only one who has really shown any interest in the Kid Icarus series is Masahiro Sakurai, and he's kind of tied up with Smash, so yeah.
Yeah, maybe when he retires from the Smash series, he could get into making a Kid Icarus game. We may never know, but I would love that. I would love a Kid Icarus game just so I can be introduced to it, I guess.
I mean, there's the one on the 3DS. I forget the name off the top of my head, but it had the.
I don't have a 3DS.
Pat.
So
anyway.
All right, so I'm going to assume that Dusk and Deafhorse don't have much to say on it.
That is correct on my end.
All right.
Yes.
So
I liked how excited Vlad got.
Yep. So I think it's time we talk about the big elephant in the room now. So as many of you know, Shigeru Miyamoto made the announcement for the casting choices for the upcoming Super Mario movie that's been talked about for the past couple of years. And the big one is Chris Pratt is playing as Mario. Screw Charles Martinet. Let's go ahead and get the guy who played Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy to play this Italian plumber who was voiced by somebody who was Mario for over 20 years. You know, it's kind of there out in the open, and you chose Chris Pratt. I am at a loss for words here.
I mean, like, the other choices I don't have too much of a problem with, but Chris Pratt as
Flitter, we can still hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can hear you. But Chris Pratt is like, what? Why? Yeah, we can hear you. Oh.
Oh no.
I mean, like, Jack Black as Bowser is just like, yeah, that's gonna be a fun role for him.
That actually, I actually like that idea.
I actually love the fact that he's there because, oh my crush, oh my god, yes.
It's Jack Black. You could definitely tell he's gonna have fun with the role.
Oh yeah.
Also, wasn't it said somewhere that Jack Black chose to retire after that latest Jumanji movie?
I don't think so.
There was speculation about it. I don't know what came of it, but yeah, I do remember hearing something after, like, that he was going to retire or something.
I guess he wanted to come back to play as the giant turtle guy.
Well, you never know. He might have recorded these lines like a year or two ago, and they're still animating it and stuff.
Like, if you had a chance, because he comes across as someone who is, for lack of a better term, normal. Like he grew up with the same things we did, basically. So if you had a chance to play a video game character, but you had to come out of retirement for it, wouldn't you take it?
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, there's also the fact that animation is a long process, and he might have, like, recorded these lines before his retirement was announced, too.
You know what? That may be the case. I mean, his retirement was in, like, 2019, I think, or 2020, one of the two. So it doesn't seem too far off. And animated movies take a while to make. Like, we're talking years. So maybe this is just a case where Jack Black was also doing the lines of something before his retirement. But in either case, like, I'm fine with Jack Black playing the role of Bowser, and I'm fine with the majority of the casting choices, including, like, what's his name? Charlie Ray for Luigi?
Charlie Day.
Charlie Day. Okay, yeah. Now, I'm fine with that. But Chris Pratt as Mario is like casting... Yeah. It's like casting Arnold Schwarzenegger to voice Homer Simpson. It doesn't make sense. Why would you do that?
I'd watch that too.
Duh. Why, you little...
Like, here's my 2 cents. On one hand, I can sort of see it because I could definitely imagine Chris Pratt's quirkiness as he is and his humor probably playing off the character of Mario, especially since Mario is relatively this very humble but still badass hero. But at the same time, you have the voice actor of Mario over there. You could have still kept him for the voice character.
It's right there, served to you on a silver platter, and you dish it out the window.
The problem is...
Go ahead, Ryley.
The problem is with a lot of, like, animated roles is that pretty much ever since Robin Williams playing the Genie, studios have just marketed, like, the big name stars to play these roles.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen Twitter discussions about that. Like, Robin said at one point, there's a reason why he was angry with Disney. He didn't want his character and his role heavily marketed over the original voice actors. And what do you know? The thing he didn't want to happen is happening. He's turning in his grave so hard right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, it happened when he was alive.
Yeah, well, that too.
But it got worse when he died.
Yeah, I think that's what we meant.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
But I will like to say this. Considering that Miyamoto has been really heavily involved in the development of this film, and the fact that they've been so protective over their IPs ever since the original Mario movie from the 80s, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt that, like, considering how protective Nintendo is with their IPs, that they've done their due diligence and that they have a good amount of confidence that these actors can play these roles good enough, well enough.
I mean, also, not to mention, I've mentioned this too, it would kind of be the same scenario when the voice, like, I feel like for the voice actor of Mario, I forgot the name now, fuck.
Charles Martinet.
Charles Martinet, I feel like it would be slowly being the keyword, slowly would be like the Marge, the Marge VA thing where she can't do the voice of Marge anymore.
All right, so I'm going to let you...
I feel like that would kind of be the...
Pardon me for intruding for a second. I have to BRB to pick up Key. It's going to take like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, so go ahead and keep them occupied as you guys continue the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
But,
everyone, shenanigans.
I really don't think that that's the case, because Martinet is like a full-blown voice actor, and he's been playing all these different roles for decades, and he's shown no signs of slowing down, so I don't think it's a Marge thing. Again, I think it's purely marketing.
Yeah,
I know, but I mean, like, in terms of voices here, because I feel like I say slowly because I feel like, and I'm kind of scared of this, I feel like that would be the case for Charles, especially with how much he's played Mario in the past, you know?
I don't see it. I mean, if we had seen any signs of him, like, having a hard time playing these roles anymore, maybe, but no, I'm certain this is all down to marketing. I
feel it's that. I feel it's that because it kind of reminds me of that incident, that kind of like thing that happened with Hoodwinked, where the original movie was made up of a bunch of veteran voice actors and actresses, and then halfway tongue twister, the studio just decided out of nowhere, we're not gonna fucking keep the original voice actresses and actors. We're just gonna recast the entire crew, the entire cast, put them with celebrity actors, have them voice the characters, and just keep one person there, which was Patrick Warburton. Which it's kind of suckish.
I mean, from what I can tell, I'm happy that they kept Charles into the movie instead of just removing him as a whole. Because if they were to remove him from the entire movie, oh boy, the riots that I would hear from Twitter if they were to remove him from the cast.
Like, I am glad that he is going to play a role in the film, like apparently a bunch of cameo things and stuff, but at least he's going to be in it in some capacity.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, because, yeah.
I was just going to mention, also, I kind of feel like one of the big criticisms people have towards the Mario movie is the fact that it's made by Illumination.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
that is one of my
Illumination is known for, like, their movies are okay, but, like, they really cheap out on animation. You don't notice it as much, but they are known for, like, cutting corners and making, like, very marketable, successful movies, but not spending too much on the animation.
Yeah. And I guess you could also say that one of the biggest criticisms towards them is that their stories are just, at the very end of the day, very samey.
I wouldn't say
Nothing
samey,
really...
but they're kind of just
They're like, they just exist in that sense.
Yeah.
I also find that they have a tendency to go for, without offending anyone, lower brow humor. Like, they're not looking for anything intellectual in their humor. It's by the end of the first Despicable Me movie was decent, but then it went on and got dumber and dumber and dumber until it was literally just like fart jokes in the last one. Like, I did not find that funny. An obsession with banana. Like,
of course,
it's funny if you use it properly, but if you don't, then it's like...
then it's not interesting, or at least
it's not interesting. And that's kind of when Minions sort of started to collapse. Like, it used to be everyone was in love with the Minions. There was Minions everywhere. I could not escape them. By the end of the second movie, gone. You can't sell the stuff. You can't give away the stuff now.
Because
everyone had enough.
The problem is they're still very marketable, considering the Minions movie made over $1 billion. I'm not kidding.
Good Lord.
It's like, but the thing with the Minions is that when they started off, they were at least funny. There was at least some sort of idea for them existing, because they were connected to Gru, and they were, as they say, his minions. And then the movie comes out, and it basically goes, "Oh, we're retconning everything just so we could have them continue being our mascots," which everyone grew to hate, because at this point they stopped being entertaining. They just became annoying little. Yeah, they became.
Everywhere. Remember when you would go on
entertaining.
Remember when you would go on Facebook and they would be on like all these random memes and you'd be like, "What? Why is there a minion on this meme?"
Like the old people memes.
Yeah, I'm like,
basically. I don't hate Illumination, and I kind of feel like many people harp on them a little bit too much. I feel like they don't really give us the worst movies as people like to spam around. But at the same time, I can see the criticisms that it has, especially when they're so obsessed with shoving minions everywhere that it gets to the point where nobody wants them around.
And they have all these movies where they have minion like rip-offs, basically. Like, what was it? The animals and stuff in the Lorax movie, which were basically minions rip-offs and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have a hate boner for Illumination. Like I said, their stuff is passable. They're just kind of meh overall. They're honestly kind of forgettable. Like, I don't remember too much from Secret Life of Pets at all, besides just how many trailers I saw leading up to that film, and it was like everywhere.
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
Huh. I might be wrong. But I feel like the Mario movie, especially with how much budget freaking Nintendo has, I feel like, especially with how affiliated they are, this could save Illumination from like basically being a one show pony, like one trick pony, if that makes sense. Like, I know they're known for also saying and what was the other movie? I forgot. It's not Despicable. Secret Life of Pets, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
First one was
But-
okay. Second one was kind of forgettable, I think.
But I feel like their big freaking marketing is the Minions and Despicable Me as a whole, which is not bad. But it's both three of these series overall or franchises overall for this studio is yeah, it's
Great.
mediocre as heck. It's marketing, but it's mediocre. But as a whole, I feel like Mario could actually save Illumination from being known as this, being known as that for the most part. And yes, they could be known as the people who made the Mario movie, but I feel like this would be a really good movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm just very optimistic about this, but I feel like it would be better. It would be a lot more better than the last Mario movie. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like, how do you put this? I feel like it would be like Sony levels of animation. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being optimistic for an Illumination movie, but it'll be fun.
Speaking of the other Mario movie, am I the only one that's kind of weirded out by the fact that movie's kind of had a resurgence of people saying it's good?
What?
Or at least that
Mario
it's so
movie?
bad it's entertaining? The original Mario movie, yeah.
Okay, saying it's so bad it's entertaining is one thing. Saying it's so bad it's good is different. It's like saying that the Star Wars special was good. It's entertaining at best. Just by seeing how bad it is.
Yeah.
There is a big difference.
Mm. I mean, it is a bad movie, but it's stupidly bad.
Exactly.
I mean,
I
getting Bob.
completely agree.
I mean, fucking hell. I mean, the fact that that the characters' last names are Mario and Luigi Mario is just.
Painful.
Also, the fact that the mushrooms are literally what looks like to be mucus. Cool. I'm trying to figure out what else to say about this thing.
About the movie itself, I'm going to agree with the majority of the rest of you that this is... Let's take someone who is super, super popular but not doing a series at the moment so we can profit off it because he is popular with the kids.
Yeah. And, like, that
I'm not saying that automatically means he's going to do a bad job. I'm saying it makes me leery of where they're headed with this, because if they're focusing on marketing tactics plus nostalgia, that doesn't usually go for a good movie. If you're going for the movie and you really put your heart and soul into the movie, you're not bothered with getting the really fancy actors. You're not bothered with this. Like they would... Honestly, I would have preferred if they took completely new people, unknowns, complete unknowns, and give them their big break, rather than getting a big name.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I understand the marketing tactic from this, because if you get completely new names, like someone like me, I am very well aware of the Mario universe. I didn't know the guy's name of who voiced Mario. Don't scream at me, but all they're gonna see, like, I hate to say this, the kids are just going to say, oh, there's some old guy. They're not gonna know he's the name necessarily. So they have to put in a name they will recognize and will bring in the younger generation.
I'm wondering now in regards to the movie is what the hell is the plot going to be? Is it just going to be beat by beat? Mario and Luigi go out to save the princess, or is it going to be a little bit more expansive?
See, here's the thing. I'm going to agree because I believe Golden said this earlier, or Vlad did when we were discussing it. We were talking about it. Oh no, sorry, it was Logic.
All right, I'm back.
Who was saying, welcome back.
All right.
Logic was saying earlier that he would prefer a step-by-step, this is the game, this is the whole point of the game, rather than this game changes someone's life outside of the Mario universe. And I think I agree with that. I would much prefer a vision of what the Mushroom Kingdom would look like. A vision of, this is a very basic, like, give me the 80s cheese. I am fine with that. Just go for it.
Uh-huh.
If they start making references to the to the Mario memes, that would be even more.
And that would be fine if they do it well. If they just like post up memes like that, that loses its touch. But if they just reference them, that would be amazing.
I would like to see it like how Spider-Verse did, like at the very beginning, where they fucking reference the the melted ice cream, the fucking melted Spider-Man ice cream.
I would love that, honestly. I would love for them to actually.
So while I've been away,
we're still discussing the movie.
Are we still discussing like the casting or what?
A little bit, and our thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, no, the casting choice with Mario is really dumb. But whoever's the voice of Toad, at the very least, I hope it's not, I think it's the current voice of Toad. Like it was a thing since the debut of Mario Advance, and I hate it. It sounds constipated.
What I'm really pissed about is the fact that there's no voice casting for Daisy. You mean to tell me that she doesn't have a role in this movie? Maybe it's because it's on like a different time zone in the Mario universe. But dude, Daisy is also in the franchise. You couldn't do anything.
Okay, at this point, I think they're just focusing on the main cast. Or just the main characters.
But she's also the main cast.
Okay, Daisy's not a part of the main cast. She was a side cast. She only made her appearance briefly first in Super Mario Land, and then she would make her appearances in sport games. Whereas Donkey Kong was with Mario in the first arcade game, which would make more sense.
They did mention that there's a voice actor for him. Gremlin noises.
Angry gremlin.
By that logic, like, I would have just assumed, like, oh, where's Wario and Waluigi? Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I would assume that too, honestly.
No, seriously, if Waluigi makes it in, everyone will cheer.
Where's Yoshi?
Middle of the movie theater. I guarantee it.
Just out of nowhere, a cameo of Waluigi, and everyone's just, yes, let's make the movie work!
I guarantee everyone will lose them. So, like, it would be like that scene. What was the other one where everyone was cheering? I've been in 2 movie theaters where the entire theater erupted.
Probably the spoiler, the ending of Sonic.
I did not go see Sonic.
Okay, I remember that.
This year.
Okay, so I remember this when it came to, what was it? It was when Tails was making his brief appearance and everybody was like, yeah, Tails! And that's it.
No, one of the Star Wars ones, because the Star Wars ones I have seen all of them in theaters. And the other one was... Oh god, this is gonna drive me nuts. Star Wars, and what was the other one? Oh yes, end of Endgame. When all the portals open.
I think so. No, I also remember when we were watching Infinity Wars in theaters, and it's when Peter Parker was disappearing. Go like, I don't feel good, Toad. Everybody was like, no!
Yes!
I feel like his fading away looked like cosmetic makeup for some reason. I know that's from like technical aspects, but it feels like he's not even fading away. He's just turning into like makeup dust. Like he turns into
Yeah.
Well, I
Also,
enjoyed the
we did
explanation
not-
behind it.
Yeah. Also, we did not mention this, but Nintendo is being a very, very much of a tease when it comes to Smash, because they literally were like, "Oh, do you want to know about Smash Bros. And the final DLC character?"
Oh yeah, we'll see. We'll show you that on October 5th.
5 for that to happen. I'm just like,
Suck my dick,
what's this
Nintendo.
for?
Come on. It's like, look, if
Like,
you're
I
gonna,
was like, wait, what's this for?
yeah, it's like, if you're gonna tell us about something happening, show us what's gonna happen. Don't just say, oh yeah, we got this thing coming out. You'll see it October 5th. It's like, suck my dick.
Wait, why?
Like, that is such a
Why would
literal.
you do that?
That is such a
That is
literal
cool
cock
tease.
tease. That is such a cock tease.
I was just gonna say that, but yeah, that's literally like jingling keys, or like, it's like that meme where it's like, do you want this? Mm-hmm. Do you want this? Well, you're not gonna get it.
No, it's like, you'll get it later. It's like, why would you flash it out now?
Because troll move.
Yeah, no, okay. A part of me is not too surprised about that, because just hear me out when I say this analogy here. Nintendo to video games is like what Disney is to movies. They're good with some quality content, and I'm going to say that loosely, disregarding the garbage live-action remakes, but they're terrible at business practice and care more about profits than they care about pleasing the people over what they want. And nothing
Yeah.
but silence. Yeah. So,
Also, I'll be right back for a bit. Sorry.
yeah.
Pickles wants to join.
Okay, hang on. hang on.
I kind of want to say sorry. I really thought I had muted myself, and the singing was kind of one of my ADHD stuff.
It's
Oh,
fine.
no, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I did the same thing the other time when I don't think you were podcasting, but you were we were doing something, and just you could hear exactly what my dad was watching, like right next to me.
Oh. And it was
There was so much noise.
Let me. How long ago was this? I'm trying to tag Pickles.
Who, what one?
Pickles.
Yeah.
Or
Pickles.
Panda. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Oreo
of the many
bear.
names.
Yeah. I'm pretty
Oreo
sure
bear.
she's got some things to
Candy.
say.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oreo
She
bear.
seems the type who enjoys the games.
Yep. And we got some silence going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Oreo. What? What are you
Oreo
typing?
bear. She is
Oreo
kinda-
bear. It's a nickname.
Anyways, there's like a remake, I believe, for my computer must do 10 upgrades. Okay, yeah, this is gonna take a while. I don't know if she'll make it in time. But I know that there's like another ActRaiser game. Like there's a remake of the original. I didn't know it was made by Square. Square
Enix?
Square Enix, yeah. At the time they were called Squaresoft, but they changed it for some reason. So I just call it Square for short to clear it
Well,
up. 'Cause-
they changed it when they merged with Enix.
Okay, I didn't know that Enix was a separate company.
Oh yeah, they had made the Dragon Quest games in the past, and that's why Square has the license now and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, no, my knowledge with Square is like it's extremely minimal. All I know is Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, and Final Fantasy. Like that's about
Mood.
it. Yeah.
wait.
I have admittedly
Isn't
I have
like
not
Kingdom Hearts also in there?
I was trying to avoid saying that. You two fucking trolls, go to the corner.
I'm proud of you, Galaxy.
No, because I had to remember that. Like, wait, isn't Square? Isn't? Oh yeah.
Oof.
Anyway,
Well,
continue on, Golden.
Anyways, trying to remember where I last left off because now I'm having PTSD memories of playing that fucking game.
The remake of the Square game from the SNES, I believe.
Yeah, no, admittedly, I have not played ActRaiser, but I was told it's a good game, but it's also a hard game. So it's like, I would have to know when to make the right time to play it. I heard it back and forth. But trying to think of something to say. I'm trying to buy some time for Pickles because she wants to join.
Aw.
Yeah.
Totally understandable.
Yeah. You know, it's just
Can I
out of
ask
respect. Go ahead.
What's everyone's favorite childhood game if you're able to choose one? Doesn't have to be Nintendo, but if it is, it stays on top left?
In
No,
terms
not
of
top left.
brand or console?
Console.
Console, okay. Even though I would have loved to explore more on the Genesis as a kid, I still have my proud moments of the Super NES. Like, the Super NES is my favorite console. Not just because of the nostalgia, but its solid library of games. Like, a majority of them, there's so many titles in which I can name off of that everybody knows about. But the Genesis actually does have a fair library of games that are pretty underrated because of the competition between the Genesis and the Super NES. I mean,
I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, like, in terms of, like, if you want to get into Genesis games, like, obviously you have the Blue Hedgehog himself, Sonic, but there's also Gunstar Heroes, and that is a fantastic run-and-gun game. There's a pretty good port of Strider, which was an arcade game from Capcom. But there's also, like, there was Rocket Knight Adventures. They also have better renditions of what Super Nintendo was ported to. They have a better version of Mickey Mania and Earthworm Jim. They're better played on the Sega Genesis than on the SNES. And there's a couple of other games that definitely, like, try to push its own limits to compete. Like, there's also a dramatic difference between, like, what Batman and Robin was compared to the Super NES version. The Super NES version, it definitely has some pretty good graphics matching the tone and feel of the original cartoon show, the animated series in the 90s. But the Genesis version was pushing its limits so hard that it's unbelievable with what kind of graphical performances there are.
I mean, look at the life support they put on that thing with the 32X and all that. Yeah.
That was the major drawback with the Sega Genesis. Like, when they were pushing their hardware, like, yeah, they had to push... Okay, I meant pushing their programming. That's what I meant. When you played Adventures of Batman and Robin on the Genesis, like, you have some, like, somewhat of 3D looking imagery. Like, there's a video that explains all the programming details by a guy who used to work at Sega. I think it's called Coding or something like that. I'll have to look it up. But it's visually impressive. And he did a similar thing with Mickey Mania, where you, when you play as Mickey, you're walking across a tower, and the tower looks 3D as you're walking across. It's very impressive with what they were able to come up with to create these somewhat, like, 3D looking graphics in the game. And comparing that to the Super Nintendo, which had their own Mode 7 graphics, and just how much they were, like, they had their own, like, Super FX chip for games like Star Fox, and there was some kind of racing game of some sort. And, like, I can't think of anything else. Oh, yeah, there was a little bit of it worked for Yoshi's Island. Like, they had a couple of 3D platforms, or they had some, like, 3D backgrounds, like, that were part of the mechanics. Like, you had a wall falling down.
Well, like, wasn't it for, like, Donkey Kong Country and stuff like that? It wasn't really truly 3D. They had just made...
That was something Rare made in order to have, like, they used 3D polygon graphics, but rendered them into just images, compared to working with actual, like, 3D images with the Super FX chip. Stunt Race Effects, that's what it was called. Thank you, Retro Gamer Kevin.
So yeah, he's the Retro Gamer. You would know.
Yeah, no, like, Retro and I, like, we share a lot in common whenever it comes to old games. Like, we can be absolute dorks over that shit. Like, there's a few other people I know of who would go on tirades about how much we love the old library and the steep competition between the Genesis and the Super NES. Like, I still love watching that one Angry Video Game Nerd video where James Rolfe is talking about his experience of being introduced to the Genesis. He was first introduced when it came to the Genesis does what Nintendo, and he took it personal because he started out with the NES and he loved it, and it's like, oof. But then he decided to, he made a video about it.
Yeah, didn't he like show like old childhood home movies of him trying to defend the SNES against?
Yes,
the
and he goes through everything. Like he showed a huge faith to the brand. Like he's got all like he's showing off all these action figures. He's got like different kinds of like hardware and such. Comparing that to the Genesis, and like the Genesis was still fairly new at the time. They didn't have any additional hardware. What most people
32X
and the 32X. Yeah, no, the 32X and the Sega CD, somebody from GameStock, I forgot what his name was, he said it best, like, this is making the Virtual Boy look good. That is a big fucking, like, that is a big shot. Like, a big hot shot. Yeah, exactly. That's a really big oof. But like, okay, one of the big things that I couldn't stand, like, it's everybody's issue, and that is the 32X and the Sega CD. Like, the add-on support and everything, that's not too big of a problem. It's having to hook everything else up. You have two giant electrical outlet. Like, you have these big outputs that you have to plug into the electrical outlet, and because they're big and blocky, they take up so much space. Even if you were to use a normal power strip, you would have to get another power strip for something. Somebody, according to My Life in Gaming, which is a channel that I've watched, they mentioned that there's a special type of cable that somebody invented, that they have all the plugins for the Sega CD and the 32X, and they actually make this convenience of making the original plug-in socket not boxy at all. It's the original one, and the box itself, it's like midway in the cable. Like they were able to find a workaround for that shit.
And then multiple cables connected to the 32X to the original Genesis.
Yeah, so it's like, obviously it would be third party, but it's a modded one where you don't have to work with so much bullshit. I can't say too much about the Sega CD or the 32X library. It was pretty small. Like, it's not Virtual Boy small. Like, the Virtual Boy had like what, 14 games?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Something, yeah. There was 14 games. And one of them was only released in Japan, too.
Oh, yeah, no. And that was the other thing that was kind of annoying with what Sega did. Like, I'm not going to, like, call them out, like, single-handedly, because Nintendo was all too guilty of this. They would only have, like, Japan-only released games or just European-released games. And based off of how they function, they are also, like... The designs were different. Like, they had different gigahertz of what runs and such. Like, in terms of tech material, like, even if you were to try to put these from different countries in, you run with somewhat of a risk of some kind, like not properly working or or properly damaging your console. And I'm saying this while I'm like wearing out my voice. For instance, yeah, it's some good old H2O.
Yeah.
But okay, so in Sega's case, and this was a workaround in which I'm not going to completely blame them for, there were some really good fucking European and Japan only released games on the Genesis. One major example is a remake of the original Mega Man games called Mega Man The Wily Wars. You play the first 3 Mega Man games, and after you beat all 3 of them, you get something additional. On top of that, you have a file save.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. We're having some technical issues.
Okay. I hope everything's okay.
Oh, there we go. Now we're back.
Yay.
Anyways, so yeah, well, for example, is the Wily Wars, and they have a great graphical enhancement, and the music is updated very well. Honestly, I still prefer playing the original Mega Man games by comparison, but they definitely have a great performance in terms of like trying to play things out. So apparently the gaming historian explained it best as to why it was never shipped to America. They were originally planning on doing that, but there was talk about the Sega Channel, which was the only alternative based off of, because this was like out in the mid-90s at this point, and the Genesis was on the end of its lifespan before they would move on to the Sega Saturn. Capcom wanted to keep their faith with Nintendo, so they didn't want to get too busted. I mean, the only other Capcom game that I could think of that Capcom had support with on the Genesis was their own version of Street Fighter, Tournament Edition or something like that. But the Wily Wars, it was only like released on the Sega Channel, which was in and of itself really stupid, but nothing much else can be done about it. But there were 2 more games that were made back in the 90s, or made back in 95, but were never ported to America, and they're both really good games. One of which was called Pulseman, which was kind of like a Mega Man game, but you don't run and gun. You work with platforming, and it almost plays off like a hack and slash. The game was made by Game Freak, who's known for Pokemon. So imagine that. A game made by a company who did Pokemon had something in support for the Sega Genesis. And along with that was another game that had the same developers who did Gunstar Heroes called Treasure. Made one game that looks incredibly badass, but it's hard as balls, called Alien Soldier. And I love the look of the game. It's absolutely appealing. Treasure really knew how to work with the software in producing Sega Genesis games. But Alien Soldier was another example that was not ported to America, which I believe it's because it was released at a late time, and not to mention the difficulty was so ridiculous that even the creator's boss had to take on programming it to make it easier for general audiences. But these were at the end of the lifespan, so I can kind of understand, but it's still an inconvenience to everybody else in the 90s in America who had missed out on these games. But back with the game and Historian, who I mentioned earlier before the whole shit, like the weird corruption happened. He mentioned that the best way to try to get into playing the Wily Wars, in terms of physical hardware, you would have to get a reproduction cartridge, which you're running a risk of because you have they come in different qualities. There's some that are really solid and work well, but there's some that are loose in the cartridge, and if you plug it in, it could cause a lot of problems if you're not careful. So that's a whole different can of worms, and it's a little bit of, you're kind of rolling the dice there. But yeah, I've been on quite the tirade there. You know, speaking of, considering that Nintendo is allowing N64 and Genesis games, I do hope that at the very least for those who choose to have the subscription, they would expand the library and include some like Japan-only released Genesis games like Alien Soldier, The Wily Wars, and Pulseman. Because I think those games deserve a lot of attention. And that's one of the things that I love about retro collecting, is that you explore a ton of other titles that not many people either talk about, nor do they know about. I didn't know anything about Pulseman or Alien Soldier, obviously, because it wasn't ported to America. And it's very rewarding and exciting when you discover these games that were made at a time that you didn't know about. And it's a whole different tirade that I could go on forever on. Same thing with the N64, you know, expand them. I hope they expand themselves on other N64 titles that deserve some attention, like Army Men or Chopper Attack, which is a dumb, like, Chopper arcade-like game. How's Panda doing? Let's see.
Haven't heard anything since she said she has 10 updates.
Crap. I'm trying to buy as much.
Oh, shit.
What's up?
No, I was just saying 10 updates. Yikes.
Holy
on the
God.
On the bright side is Argo Demon's birthday today.
Who?
Happy birthday to them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so he's streaming
Argo
right
Demon.
now.
Ah, okay.
He's streaming right now, so if you want to rate him, if he's still streaming after you're done, I guess he would be happy.
Yeah,
Because
sure,
it's
I could do that. I would just have to, look for his
Link.
channel.
There you go.
Alright.
Argo
I was
Demon did some
prepared.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, he's good. He's a gooda. He's very gooda.
So, I do hope that at least Nintendo is willing to be open to a lot of these games, because part of the reason why so many people collect retro games nowadays is simply because of exploring other titles that don't have as much attention. Not to mention, again, they're bad with business practice. They're very strict on certain games that they don't want to give attention to for some odd reason, or they don't think too much about it. And this is just something that everybody else can simply address and point out. Because the closest thing to having to get the experience... I gotta mute this really quick, because I don't want to hear the sound of his... And it's happening. Oh, they're playing a stupid ad.
We don't hear anything.
Okay, good.
Me.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, I don't hear you.
Okay, so they're playing ads for the next Venom game. Anyway, See, I wish they would translate those games. No, same here. Honestly, like, okay, so I know that there have been some English translated versions of Final Fantasy VI, which used to be Final Fantasy III in America because there were 2 other releases that didn't get ported to America, presumably because they were way too hard or because of their difficulty. I don't know the whole story with that, but I do know this. There are some slight differences with what Final Fantasy VI had with their performance. For instance, the opening title sequence. They have like, okay, so you have the original opening sequence that just says Final Fantasy III on there. Final Fantasy VI's opening has something much more dramatic going on inside that, like within the Mode 7 graphics and such. Like, you would have to see it for yourself. And along with that, they had some translation differences. Like, there's a line that was changed to America for some dumb reason. It's Kefka saying "go and get them." In the Japanese release, he says "go kill them." Like, they actually go the extra mile in terms of their dialogue.
You can't say kill.
Yeah.
This is America. You can't say that.
Yeah, I know. It's
you have to say unalived.
Yeah. Not to mention, I love the cover art of Final Fantasy VI and how much of, like, they have this, like, dystopian steampunk look of it compared to just a chocobo laying on a sword, which is cute in and of itself, but it feels a little misguided for Americans to try to get into the game.
It's because adorableness does
Yeah.
not bring...
Oh yeah, speaking of Chocobo.
Oh, yes, that's right! Square Enix's answer to Mario Kart. I hope it's fun.
Yeah. It looks cute. I actually like it, especially like it's for some people it's a dumbass port, but it's so cute and it's adorable, and you get to see like Chocobo and his little friends, like little Kirby, but like for Square Enix. It's so cute. I love it.
Happy Bean.
Like, I'm not too excited about the Chocobo cart thing, but it's cute. I would love to play it if I were to be able to.
Yeah, now I just have to wait for the chubby chocobo skin. Yep.
Yeah.
Because okay, first time I saw the chubby chocobo when I played Final Fantasy 14, the online stuffy. I immediately named him Charlie the Chubby Chocobo because that became a triple C. So that made me happy.
Cute.
Yes.
It's adorable.
Yeah, we need the Charlie the Chubby Chocobo, and he has a watermelon or strawberry cake.
In regards to Japanese, to like Japan having this tendency, well, like Nintendo having a tendency of like releasing games, and then like because apparently of the whole importing such and all that other jazz. I kind of remember that Mega Man Battle Network, the Game Boy version of like them kind of doing a whole new thing with Mega Man. They did that. They did the exact same thing with it. With like, in particular after the third game, where like there was the there was like a normal basic version, and then they would release an updated version, and then America decided, okay, we'll just port those two versions, and then just slap like a different name to it and call it a day. The thing is that usually one of them is considered the best one, whereas the other one is just considered subpar. It's kind of frustrating too, especially once you really realize how snubbed you were when you got the subpar version of the game.
Yeah.
That's also a franchise that I wish they would bring back. Actually,
Battle Network, Star Force. I would love to see.
Yes, it's like they already kind of gave the implication with Mega Man 11, even though Capcom seems to be throwing Mega Man under the ringer for some reason. Because it would be interesting.
I mean, they brought back Mega Man 11, and that's good and all. I'll be surprised if I see those return, but if they're going to go the full gambit of just re-releasing a bunch of Mega Man games from titles past and stuff, I would like that. I'm just not expecting it anytime soon.
Unfortunately. It's kind of a shame, too, because anybody who's not familiar, Mega Man Battle Network was pretty much a what-if scenario in regards to the Mega Man universe. So anybody who knows Mega Man will know that, it's about robots, and Dr. Wily's evil, and Dr. Light creates Mega Man and Proto Man to
most people remember the run and gun mechanic, whereas Battle Network is a little bit more RPG driven.
Yeah. Like, basically the plot of that one is, what if Dr. Light instead went into networking instead of robotics? In result, the future of the world is advanced with computers and technological advances. Basically, the games also predicted shit like smartphones and such, just without a sentient AI.
Yeah.
And as a result, the games were very unique in terms of its art, not only because of it being an RPG, but also over the fact that it had some of the most badass battle mechanics. Period. Once you actually fix up the battle mechanic, once you get around to understanding how the battle system works in the game, you're gonna have a shit ton of fun with the combos that you're able to figure out with it.
Plus, it was cool to see some of these classic Mega Man characters redone in this style, and
Yeah, especially with like characters like Proto Man and Bass. Ooh. But unfortunately, the games were only restricted to Game Boy, and after the 6th game, that was pretty much the end of it. But I think another thing was it suffered from third game syndrome, because after the 3rd game, Infinite was done, he was going to move on from it, and Capcom decided, no, we're going to continue the franchise without you, and went down the toilet after that.
Really, I like the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Well, the 5th maybe not so much, but I love the 6th game.
Retro Gamer Kevin is having a ball down there.
Like the 5th and 6th game, I like. The 4th one, I liked it when I played it, but I think what's the most frustrating thing is, okay, I'm not going to go into super spoiler territory about the 4th game, but here's basically a mechanic that I hated about it. Basically, when it came to every ending of Mega Man Battle Network, after you defeated the final boss, the game would start you off right back before you would fight the final boss. Because after that, the secret area would be opened.
Yep.
However, in Battle Network 4, the game would instead would force upon you the option to restart the game all over again and go through the entire process just to fight off the more stronger level villain enemies and such, just so you can later on access the secret area.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of that. I hated the fact that you had to be forced to play the game 3 more times. It's sort of like the equivalent of, I guess, Ghosts and Goblins, because Ghosts and Goblins did that.
Oh, Ghosts and Goblins, a game that will wreck people up.
Yeah, especially with the ending. Oh, hello. With the ending.
Panda's here, finally. Hey, welcome to the party.
Hello.
I'm kinda here. I probably sound like utter donkey butt, but my computer is still loading.
Well,
you sound fine, so.
Well, now that you're here, we were just talking about Nintendo Direct. Have you seen it yet, or no?
No, I have not.
Okay, we have plenty of exciting games coming out, but there's one major controversy that is happening, that has been going around, and that is the announcement of the casting choices for the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, shit. I just saw those too. Oh, okay, yeah. Only one that I am excited for is probably Jack Black playing Bowser.
Yeah,
that is probably
I can get behind that. Jack Black would be a great game.
I love him so much.
Yeah, Jack Black is a fun choice for Bowser to play. Yeah, no, like that's a good casting choice there. Yeah.
Swoons.
Yeah, most of the casting choices. Yeah, no, we were talking about games just to occupy the people, but like most of the casting choices I'm fine with, except for Chris Pratt playing as Mario. It just doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. No. Yes, I need a hot, sexy Mario in the next upcoming Mario movie.
I mean, if you want something like that, there's a Mercedes. No, hold on. Panda, if you want something like that, there's a Mercedes-Benz commercial that has a dude who's like all muscular cosplaying Mario.
You know what this means?
What?
You know what this means? This means
What
that
does this
Mario is now the Star-Lord in Super Mario Galaxy.
God, no!
Yes.
Yes.
Galaxy, sweetie.
What?
Corner.
No.
I am gonna say though, I can't remember the one actor that hasn't been. I can't remember, but there's one character that hasn't been revealed yet. I'm just saying, the shitty freaking casting. They better give us Waluigi, and I'm not accepting anything else. I better get.
They better give a casting for. They better give a cast for Daisy.
Yoshi! Where's my girl?
Listen, I am terrified. I watched the original Super Mario Bros. Movie, that really trashy one.
Oh,
that
God.
had basically
Bob
nothing
Hoskins.
to do with the actual fucking game. I watched that. I had that as a movie as a kid growing up. They messed up my boy Yoshi hard.
Yoshi's a
Please do not do
boy!
that.
Yoshi is a girl!
Yoshi is. There are many different Yoshis. There are girl,
Green
boy,
one.
anything. There's a ton of them.
The green one is actually
They
a
come
girl.
in like several many colors.
Hold on, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Green Yoshi is a girl.
Where did you
At least
find that
the original
information?
My years of Googling and talking to other geeks, but I don't know if they change it.
I could have. The Birdo was a boy too.
Birdo is a boy.
I'm sure.
Birdo, I'm pretty sure, is a boy, but when I'm referring to Yoshi, I'm talking about the actual Yoshi creatures, the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
They messed up Yoshis. They messed up Yoshi hard in that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm
Hey,
praying they don't
yeah.
do the same, because that is my favorite character.
Hold on.
Hey,
Okay, so I just looked up the information on Yoshi. In the in-game context of Yoshi's trophy in Super Smash Bros. Melee states that Yoshis reproduce asexually, meaning that they produce without a mate and are neither male or female.
Huh. Okay.
Well, then they have been upgraded. Okay.
That's a mood.
Hey, Pickle.
What?
Mario and Luigi Mario.
Oh, God. That was such a stupid idea. The original plan was that they didn't have any last names.
They could have just kept them as Mario and Luigi, and that's it.
Listen, it's that, and then don't even get me started on what the fucking Goombas look like.
Yeah,
Don't
Nope.
at me.
We're changing the subject. We're changing the subject. We're changing the subject.
Right.
Yeah, also,
Yeah.
Panda, I hope you have a video to share prepared because we're ready to move on to the next topic. Okay, so it's been a while since I did this.
Oh no.
Here's video to video. So video to video, for those who are new in this podcast, we share what video that's been on our mind or something we want to talk about, and we kind of give a little bit of attention to it. We discuss it. So with that in mind, trying to look at the podcast roster, Deafhorse, I believe you shared something first.
Yeah, it's nothing really too big. It's just a simple, silly video. But I still find it kind of amusing.
Okay, yeah, so I saw that earlier today. So a dude goes to grab a bowl of cereal, and he opens the fridge to get some milk, only to find out the whole thing is empty. The next shot, a dude just throws the fucking bowl of cereal at a wall, and the video's over. It's 6 seconds, and it's just a big what the fuck.
Me when there's
no
milk in the fridge.
I mean, it's kind of a mood. I mean, you've all had those moments where you just want to get something from your fridge, you're really hungry, you're in the mood for something, and then you realize it's not in the fridge anymore. You can't help but just be incredibly frustrated. I've had that happen before multiple times, but without throwing stuff in the fridge. I mean, throwing stuff against the wall.
I have no other words. It's just, yeah, no. Or it's one of those occasions where you go to get something only to find out that your roommate guzzles through the rest of it. We've all been there before. It's infuriating. I'm kind of guilty of that shit. No, there are times like
You
I
don't
remember
go
when
check
one
the
of the
fridge to see if there's new food. You go to check the fridge to make sure that your standards have lowered.
There was a time when I think I used up a thing of like maple syrup, and then I got a text message from one of the roommates. I'm not going to give out their name, saying whoever used up the last of the maple syrup, you're an asshole. I'm like, oof.
Maple syrup.
They're not wrong. So I went to go out and I had to go out and buy another thing of maple syrup.
Yeah, this actually happened a few days ago too. Like I went at work. I bought a big tub of cookies and cream ice cream. I'm a fan of cookies and cream. Put it in the fridge. Ate maybe two times spoonfuls in a mug. Didn't eat that much after that. Just ate popsicles. 3 days later, I come to the fridge on my day off. The tub is completely fucking empty, and I just literally go, "What happened to the rest of it?" And my parents just go, "Oh yeah, your nephews ate it all."
Oh my god.
Betrayal.
Yeah, that happened
Right.
to me. Like, I remember it was milk, but I remember there was like one of my parents literally brought their friend with them, and she had a kid. This kid literally drank the entire carton of one of our like milk cartons, and I'm just sitting here like, did what? Sir, we need that.
Who the hell drinks an entire milk carton though?
Like, the kid literally like an hour later, because I know this because I found out like later on that, hey, do you want to get some milk? We don't have any more milk in the fridge because the kid literally drank it all. I was like, what? Why? What? Why would you do that? I get that it's a kid, but no.
But who the hell drinks an entire carton of milk though?
It was like half. It was like half, but oh my god.
Okay, fair, but still.
I was internally pissed because I needed that lactate. Okay.
This reminds me of this. Okay, so this reminds me of how many of you seen the movie Look Who's Talking with Kirstie Alley and Bruce Willis voicing the narration for the baby and what his thoughts are?
No, I hasn't seen it yet.
Okay, so I will mention this much. There was a scene where, like, before he's born, he's got, the feeding tube, like, they kind of, like, they make it simplified so it doesn't look gross or anything like that. They make it look all fantasy in the inside of the womb. Anyway, saying, yo, let's get some apple juice down here. And the next shot is Kirstie Alley chugging a giant gallon of apple juice. Like, it's like 3/4 full, and it's like nearly empty. And you see somebody from across the room, it's like, thirsty? Yeah. It's like, no shit! So seeing something like that, so it doesn't surprise me if somebody's able to chuck an entire gallon of milk.
Like,
You're
I was
not
like,
wrong.
listen, I need those for my Oreos, my omelet, and everything else. Why the hell did you do that?
Your omelet? Hold on. You mean you mix milk with eggs to make an omelet? I thought making an omelet is just scrambling it inside the pan and then just flipping it over like a taco.
No, I mean like what are those called? Like omelet rice, kinda. Cause I put like, yeah, I also put cheese on it and rice, and it tastes freaking good, especially with like ketchup at the top. Stunning.
Happy.
But yeah, like, listen, I need those milk for my Oreos, okay?
Kind of bringing up the past here.
Right.
Can I have some of your milk, Speed? Sorry, fat kid. You're fat enough already. I need milk for my eyelashes.
Eyelash?
No, it's Awesome Racer. It's a whole parody of Speed Racer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Here comes Speed Racer.
Yeah. Threw curtains of milk by himself in one day or so. Oh my god!
Literally just.
Dude, I'm just reading one of the chat texts from Thelmer100. My big brother drank our 3 cartons of milk by himself in one day.
What?
Can you
Why?
even
Why would you do
survive that? Is like, I'm surprised he's still alive.
Milk next time.
You can definitely survive it, but your stomach and intestines will not thank you for it.
Oh no, it's gonna be
That's
hell.
what I was thinking.
That's especially bad. It's especially bad if you're like, what is that allergy called? Lactose intolerant.
Lactose intolerant.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
kill ya.
that's a bad day. That's a trip to the hospital.
That would be lots of pain.
And I know that
Yes, I want a quick
because
and painful death.
Because
because one of us happened to be lactose intolerant.
my brother has a little bit of
themselves as a cow.
My brother has a little bit of a lactose intolerance, and I know a few other people who are lactose intolerant. So it's like, I can understand that. But chugging 3, like, okay, so for those who are not lactose intolerant, congratulations, you survived 3 fucking gallons. You owe new ones to everyone else. Like, jeez.
Yeah.
There's some people who have done.
I'm willing to bet that your brother, or like the person's brother who said that, I'm willing to bet they got
what?
a good yelling.
You cut out for a second. Oh, he got a good
people
yelling.
around
Okay.
them as soon as that happened.
All right.
Good yelling.
Yeah. No, I heard you.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet he got a good yelling out of that.
All right. So, with that in mind, I think we're ready to move on to the next video because, man, that 6-second video made quite the conversation. Dusk, do you have anything to share us?
I do actually. Hold on, let me paste it. It's a TikTok I found. So I love history. I absolutely love history, especially history that doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Sorry. Let me explain what this is. I don't know if you guys can see it. Her name is Esme Louise.
Mm-hmm. Where is it? Did you post it in the podcast discussion?
It's in the podcast roster.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Good. All right. So, where is? Okay, so above. No, I'm also copying.
Like I have 2 people. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. Okay,
So she teaches basically what's termed as kinky history, but this one doesn't have to do with kink. I made sure it was safe for Flitter. It's the history of the gender colors of pink versus blue.
Okay.
And I find that fascinating. Because originally pink was a boy's color.
Yeah, I think Anna Dreams mentioned that before. Okay, let's take a look at this for a second.
Blue is for boys and pink is for girls.
Okay.
Just not for the majority of human history. Before the mid-18th century, all babies were dressed in white cotton
I don't
dresses.
think the people in the stream can hear it.
Yeah, no, like, I was watching it briefly, so, wow, it's 2 minutes. Okay, I thought TikTok videos were like 10 seconds or some shit.
They could be now 3 minutes.
Now.
Okay, so how were you able to get, like, the short link? Because I'm trying to find the short link for what Panda was able to show. God damn it, it's playing. I hate it when it automatically plays. That's very annoying. Anyways,
I don't know, I just clicked share and right there it says copy link and that's what I posted.
Alright, cool. But yeah, no, as like...
Let me see if I can get it.
But yeah, no, as far as I remember, the... Did you paste it in the roster, or...?
Discussion.
Oh, podcast discussion? Ah, here we go.
Discussion.
Oh yeah, no, like, I saw that one.
Yeah.
No, like, because I still have yet to get used to TikTok and, you know, how their site functions. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, so, personal history here, I'm not a big fan of TikTok, and I'm not going to single anybody out for ever daring to use it. I mean, Brogar Art has been a genius with how he makes his videos.
Oh, I love his stuff on there.
I love like, Brogar
Same.
in general, his art has been very humorous. He's very talented in that regard. And holy hell, like, the things that he, like, the stuff that he does parodies of, he does a really good job on like reusing them, reutilizing them. One of my favorites is him expressing his feelings of finally having free time before something else comes up. And I think it's from Madagascar. It's like, I'm coming, King Julian, fa la 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 la, fa, and gets grabbed by a tentacle. Yeah, no, and it's supposed to show like commission work now after all like work chores and all that shit. It's like, yeah. I like that his other videos, like one of them is doing a satire or parodying all the entitled people asking for art, like, art is not a free job, free promotion's better than money, you know, all this garbage nonsense. It's just,
yes.
Yeah, no, it's just pay the artist. Some people make a living off of that, and it's painful for them. So it really irritates me when
okay, Golden. I will feed my 12 children off of this exposure that X99 gave me with his 200 followers. It's alright.
Yeah, 200 followers compared to somebody who has maybe 1 million subscribers and has its own following and is willing to pay an extra penny for this shit. Like,
like seriously, pay your artists.
Yeah,
don't request free art. It's one thing if you've gotten to know them to the point where they want to make you a gift, but don't go in assuming that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I will say this much. Panda has drawn me a lot of fan art, and I'm very grateful for what she has drawn for me. But whenever I need something, or whenever I legit want something and want to get something out there, I will, at the bottom of my heart, pay her to draw something if she has the time for it. Same thing with Dusk. In fact, I wanted to commission Dusk a few months ago, but then I found, like, she wasn't available because she's busy with something. I commissioned and paid Myth Pony. These, like, I consider these, like, art friends. Like, sorry for being a little categorical, but for those who are talented with art, I still pay them. So whether you're a fan or a friend, paying them is extremely important. Like, whenever I go to pay an artist for a thumbnail, I always, like, add on to, like, also we can help get exposure with this big YouTube channel, and yes, I will pay you. Okay, I'm not going to play this bullshit of, oh, because I have a big following, I don't have to pay a nickel or a dime. Kiss my ass. That mentality can go right out the window.
Yeah, and if you don't have a following account like myself, you know, tipping is very nice and very fun because they get happy.
I always just love doing the jokes where it's when people ask for exposure, ask if they can pay me or like any other artist their exposure. It's like, oh yes, your exposure will help pay my rent. Let me just give this to the exposure donor.
No, like Solar actually made a great analogy in one of FlitterKriz's podcasts in that, go ahead and say, go ahead, buddy, go ahead and focus on more of trying to bring exposure. Yeah, that'll help you keep the fucking roof over your head while paying for food and your electric bill. Oh, what's that? You need money? Oh, yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, exactly.
You need money. Here's your exposure for a week. Now go on. Block.
No. Pay and tip if you can your artists. They deserve it and they are adorbs.
Yeah, you're paying them for their time and their talent put to use.
Yeah.
But Golden, why would I pay something if being on digital art isn't a real skill?
Oh God.
The computer's doing all of the work.
Yes, the computer is. The computer is exactly the computer is precisely drawing line for line, stroke for stroke to create a goddamn picture out of your expense. No, nope.
No.
Just,
no.
That is so much bullcrap.
Easy, do it yourself.
I mean, if you think it's that easy, go ahead and do it yourself. If you think it's that easy, the computer's doing all the work for it.
Yeah, you obviously just have to program artistic talent into your sentient computer.
And also break your back.
Isn't that how everyone does it?
Oh my God.
Kind of pinwheeling off of what Dusk said into a kind of happier topic, there is a videos going around of somebody actually telling AI to create something basing off of words. And I think it's really cool the art pieces they come up with, because there's actually genuine art pieces based off of AI where you can watch people do it. But granted, you can tell it's made by an AI because it's very jarbled and it's very how do I explain it? Abstract, if that makes sense. A lot of the artwork's abstract.
Why does it not surprise me that computers like abstract
God damn it!
art?
Stop automatically playing,
Makes
Jesus.
way too much sense.
Like, seriously.
Sorry. No, just every time I go to, like, check back at TikTok,
It
the
wants
video...
you to know history.
No, it's not that. I'm stumbling upon Panda's video, and I'm not ready to talk about that yet. But moving on to the next subject, FlitterKriz mentioned earlier that there have been outtakes over the production of Fatherhood, and I presume it's because you couldn't find anything else to share. Go ahead.
Yeah, I changed that to the video that has been going on in my head the past week.
Okay. Well, it has... Go ahead.
Basically, it's something that's been going on repeat in my head, and it kind of helped me not go like, "Ooh, what's everything?" It kind of kept me calm in the chaos. And I thought that since the video was supposed to be something that has been in our mind the past week, I like, yeah, okay, I can put this in. Because I kind of panicked before the stream, so I was just like, this, yeah.
Okay, so... is it still the outtakes, or is it a different video? Hold on, I need you... Hang on, is this like 15 seconds or something? An original song by Chevy. Okay.
I think it was. I think it is supposed to be.
Okay, so apparently the 15 seconds is from a goddamn
Oh no,
ad.
the whole thing is 1.5 minutes.
All right. Well, so what is the song about?
Golden, you're breaking up.
Discord, come on.
No, there you go.
Okay, so now I'm back.
I can hear you.
All right, so I'm briefly looking at it, and it looks like a kitten just stretching around back and forth in different color schemes. And I see like lyrics up above, and there's like back.
Up again.
Discord, come on!
Yeah.
It's been stuck in my head for weeks.
It definitely looks cute.
Adorable.
Okay, can I be heard this time?
There are supers. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next video. I'm probably going to have to rush this through because I don't want to break up all the time. Anyway, so my video, in which I just want to get out the way, is basically filming locations over the first Terminator film. And the person who made it, looking up who it was, this dude does this for a majority of like older flicks or older films on where the movies took place. If I could... I'm trying to find mine. Oh, here we are. Okay. Okay, so it's taking me to the video itself. Load, you son of a bitch. Okay, so 80s Life. That's the name of the channel. It's a very interesting, like, there have been some people who will, go to locations and film the set locations of where the movie scenes took place. Interestingly enough, where the first Terminator movie took place, like, obviously it took place in LA, but most of the inside of the shots of inner LA or the streets, it's actually like one lane that they always shot through, from Kyle Reese entering in the alleyway to a car chase when Sarah's being rescued from the Terminator. And a similar one where you see Kyle Reese cut a chunk of the rifle handle to put it inside his trench coat. It's stuff like that. It's really amusing. There was a neighborhood scene where, like, a Terminator goes to go after the wrong Sarah Connor. That place is now an apartment complex. It used to be a neighborhood. So seeing stuff like that and seeing how it changed. Same thing with Tech Noir. That used to be a thing, but then it was changed to something else, like some kind of supermarket. And it just shows, like it's been, like, what, almost 40 years, like, since that movie came out. So it definitely... It's very fascinating if you're into that kind of stuff.
I'll definitely check that out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he also did the same thing with Beetlejuice. I could have sworn somebody filmed someplace in Connecticut where Beetlejuice took place. And they have, like, a shot where it looks like a bridge over. That's where, like, the car fell over and the... where the two main characters died. I forgot their names.
it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah, same here. I keep forgetting the names. They're played by Alec Baldwin and fuck.
Gina Davis.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember their last name. Because they had that car accident where it fell over and it allegedly killed them. Like, they don't know it at first.
The Maitlands?
Maitlands, yeah. That's it. Anyways, stuff like that, it's always fascinating to look at. So, definitely check that out. I'll have it linked in the description for those who are watching on YouTube. Moving on to the next one. Panda has a quick video to share, and of course it's going to automatically play. What is this? The noise in the background is me watching this. I see... Oh, okay, so it's... It's a few seconds of two pigeons dancing around a bowl with somebody pouring water into.
Pigeons, I will fight you! What are those? I will fight every fiber of your being!
They are not pigeons.
Okay, they're birds. They're birds who are dancing around. They're birds who are... Yeah. It's dramatic. It's dramatic music, and it's doing this shit. Like, good lord, I can't even like. That is just priceless.
Honestly, I don't know why birds do that. There's a lot of videos of just birds hopping around a bowl when you pour water into it. I don't know why they do that. They just do.
It's funny as shit when it comes to the imagination they use.
Yeah, I figured that would be a lot better than like the Dear Evan Hansen commercial, because otherwise I would have raged. But it turns out I've raged either way. Hey, Mr. Pigeon Man.
It's just. Yeah. Also, yes, chat. You can hear it. Apparently, like I would have to watch it individually, but that's pretty fucking funny. So again, like I gotta find like a simple link to that, because somehow like Dusk was able to find a simple link and not a complicated link, you know?
Let me try with this one.
The dancing birds.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
Okay.
That's not that. That was a different one, but I can send you that link in simple link. Just one moment. The one I sent is also hilarious, but I was just testing it out.
Yes.
But that's the one that Panda sent. That's the simple link.
Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Where did you post it?
Yeah.
I posted it in podcast discussion.
The chat can now see that you've mistaken a very beautiful bird for a pigeon.
Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Pigeons can be beautiful also. Have you seen some?
No. I was gonna go off like.
Pigeons are very, very beautiful, but they are the wrong bird.
Yeah, I know. I'm just simply like, oh no, I made a huge mistake. I am canceled. There is nothing unforgiving of this. Because apparently that's the mentality people have. Go ahead.
Pigeon Man, electric chair. Execution, immediate, done, canceled. Electric chair.
Career over.
GoldenFox is over party.
But no, I figured a happy, wholesome, birds doing weird bird things video would be a lot more fun than angry video.
Yeah. Okay, that's reasonable. So moving on to Ryley and Sleepy. Ryley, what do you have for us for this video to video?
I have a bread sword video on the Disney Robin Hood film, and just how it compares to like all these classic Robin Hood films of the Errol Flynn era, I believe, and stuff. And it's just the development of the film. It's very interesting. It's been a couple of months since I've watched it. I'm definitely gonna rewatch it again. But if you're
okay, I will say this much for those who don't know: Breadsword is the same fucking dude who made a 32-minute video explaining the greatness that is Treasure Planet. And don't let the title and don't let the title fool you. Yes, he names it Treasure Planet, Disney's greatest mistake or biggest mistake, but that mistake is because Disney let it be a mistake. Like,
it was self-inflicted.
Yeah, it was just it's just like, okay, so talking about the Robin Hood movie, like I'm glad that he would touch upon that. It's just, you never know what else he'll talk about. Like, he talked about that. He talked about Dr. Strangelove. He talked about The Road to El Dorado. a match made in heaven, which that's a movie I definitely recommend. But the Disney Robin Hood, like, to an extent, like okay, like, let me ask you this: what about, like, how much does it mean to you from your childhood if you ever saw it?
Oh, I rewatched it a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
I grew up on Robin Hood.
Yeah, no, I grew up with that
Robin
one.
Hood.
To me, that's more like the definitive like version of Robin Hood, because it's just it's simple. It's simple, straight to the point about robbing the rich to feed the poor. It's just a simple story of a criminal who's committing crimes for the goodness of other people in a lower like. I actually like this was made as a hilarious reference with all the scalpers saying that they're doing what Robin Hood would do. Like, no, this is what fucking Prince John, the phony king of England, would fucking do. Yeah. But
Also,
yes.
I can appreciate good editing. And Bread Sword is one of those people. Just, the editing in his videos are just immaculate. I love it.
Yeah, no, I especially love that he creates that VHS sort of like filter on a majority of his videos.
Yes.
I have some fun fact trivia for those who probably haven't seen the Robin Hood movie, the Disney movie, but you might have actually heard one of their songs. So, does anyone remember the old meme, the hamster song? The hamster song.
I know what you're talking about.
That is Robin Hood. It is sped up.
Yep.
High pitched, and it is.
But it's like it's sped up like up a whole note, and it sounds like it sounds chipmunk-y going. It's like.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Like. that definitely shows something based on the influence it takes it from.
Sorry, I'm tired. That's all I can really say about it. Check it out if you love learning the history about animated movies and the references of the time and stuff relating to that movie and yeah.
Either that or if you're just like, Brett Sword in general is somebody who I recommend for those who are into historical value and those who like to actually give a critique at the same time, because that's also a huge part of what makes him stand out. He goes over to the details, he analyzes some of them, and sees through some visual like details that are like comparable. Like, okay, so going back to his video on Treasure Planet, he talks about the different stages of Jim Hawkins, where his character starts off with a black jacket, and then he has some kind of brown jacket midway in the film, and a white suit at the end of the film, changing him from he's in this dark place to a bright place. Little shit like that. And it's fascinating that he's willing to just like point that in there and explain so many different kinds of things you can find in a movie. And that shit is like, it's not necessarily like there to just blow you away. It's just something that he finds fascinating about it, and he shares it with everybody. And that's the same thing that goes on with Robin Hood in the whole, what is it called? The Death of Color?
No, it was, I don't think it was Death of Color. Hold on, let me get the link. It was the Death of Color. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There's a bit more to that title than it leads on. Just watch the video if you want to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the thing about Bread Sword videos. I wouldn't call them deceptive titles, but they are accurate in a certain way. But you gotta watch the video to find out.
Yep. So, are we ready to pass it on to Sleepy Charm?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. So finally, coming in last, Sleepy Charm. What video do you have for us?
Okay, so it's kind of the same scenario, but not really, So there's this YouTuber by the name of Frederick Chan, who is this basically an artist, someone who does drawing, someone who does painting, someone who does DIY. He does all these things. He occasionally, when he talks about pop culture like topics, he would specifically talk about certain things on like LGBT based stuff. And now, with that being said,
while he was doing his makeup during the entire video, he was pretty much aware of the taboo that is hating Steven Universe. And while, yes, hating something or liking something can be subjective, right? No, it's not that. It's more on the more specific line where it comes to the point that hating Steven Universe seems to be like a sensitive topic, which really shouldn't be. But it's not the second coming of Christ either. He does point out how there are some characters who have either toxic traits or people who are doing too much for someone that's like not giving their all to. And the video is not, I mean, for fuck's sake, it's literally a dude doing their makeup.
Galaxy?
Universe.
Oh, there we go.
And you would think that's a video like that would be kind of cynical and degrading and all that shit. No, he was pretty aware of it, and he was pretty chill for the most part. I mean, for fuck's sake. The dude is literally doing makeup while basically talking about gay rocks, okay? Like, and it's kind of like, it's actually really chill to listen to, especially with, I can like understand his points about Lapis and Spinel and Steven and all this other shit, which I really like. This was like really good. Like, this helped me through like a bad mood somewhat. So yeah, this is a pretty good video. It's 40 something minutes, but it's pretty good.
I'm sure it is. Like, okay, so just by looking at that title itself, like, is it a he or she?
He.
Okay. I just didn't want to get the gender wrong. But anyway, the video itself, like, okay, so the video itself, he says, Steven Universe is not perfect, but I'm not allowed to do so. So the taboo behavior, is this him explaining, like, does he like Steven Universe despite having to acknowledge the flaws, or, like, how does the premise of it go?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Basically. Because he wasn't, the great thing about this video is that he wasn't too cynical, nor was he degrading like every other Steven Universe hate videos.
He was one of those people who kept himself as neutral as he could critiquing the series.
He was pretty indifferent for the most part, but he really loved the series. Like, it's not the second coming of Christ, but it's still like, he also points out the flaws of Steven bombs. Which is like,
that's Cartoon Network doing that.
He points out how like we would get a whole Steven bomb just for like a to be continued kind of episode, or like a filler episode. Like, he points out how like bullshit that was. And it's like, it's a struggle for some people, not me, because I do like Steven Universe, but not to that degree, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do honestly love how he was very intricate about the whole thing while he was doing his like Pearl inspired makeup. So yeah. Nice. So he also talked about Q-Force, and his title was like, I watched a trailer of Q-Force and suddenly I'm straight. That was what he named it when he was like talking about Q-Force, which was basically like an LGBT-based like cartoon from Netflix. And he was like, suddenly I'm straight. That was so funny. I have yet to watch that one, but yeah, he's pretty chill. He's a chill YouTuber to watch.
Neat.
Okay, I'll definitely take a look into that, because that sounds like something I would be up my alley, because I'm also one of the few people who enjoyed watching Steven Universe and even loved the Steven Universe movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to...
People didn't like it?
Oh, I mean, like, okay, so the Steven Universe movie, it had a lot of attention, and so far a lot of people said a lot of positive things, and especially Spinel. Spinella was one hell of a character. Yeah, no, Spinella was one hell of a character. But prior to that, there was so much hate surrounding Steven Universe that A particular somebody made a 2-hour video explaining why Steven Universe is garbage. We're not going to touch upon that any further, but we know that there's people out there who don't like Steven Universe to an immense level, and, you know, to each of their own, but it's one of those examples where people are taking their cynical nature of something and they're pushing it to the extreme. I mean, yeah, you have a right to express something, but you also have to be careful with how you express yourself. And if you say something extreme like that...
Also, don't ruin things someone else likes.
Exactly. And honestly, that's the same kind of bullcrap that I have with people who go on tirades about the recent Star Wars movies. Like, I understand people don't like them, but you're saying things like The Last Jedi is an objectively bad movie, okay? So, are you saying I'm guilty of watching it because I like it? Because that's the other extreme route that people have also been taking, and it's very irritating. It's annoying. I mean,
so, unless the movie is going out and saying something illegal is good without any irony in there, then here's the whole thing. Art is about interpretation. Art is about expression. If you don't like someone else's expression, then no one's at fault. You just don't like that expression. Like, everyone can just chill, people.
Yeah, no, like, that whole thing got so ugly that the director got death threats, and just the toxicity with Star Wars was just so bad. Like, Jake Lloyd, dude, the shit he went through. I don't think I need to say much else further. That's why I don't consider myself a proud Star Wars fan. I enjoy the movies, especially the original trilogy, but I don't consider myself a fan of Star Wars. And I'm just going to leave it at that before I open up a further can of worms. Go ahead.
My last, not quote, but my last thing on that topic is, you can be a fan of something without liking the fandom.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be a fan of something without dealing with the toxicity about it. Despite all the issues that have been raised with Harry Potter, I still consider myself a Harry Potter fan.
Same.
I listen to music that other people say, well, the person is problematic. Well, yeah, but they still created something beautiful.
Yeah.
Or powerful.
Like, here's mine, which was,
Mm-hmm. Sleepy?
Not everyone.
Sleepy, you're cutting out.
I know. But, however.
There we go.
What is it? Oh, right. The fandom in K-pop. Oh my god. There's some funny people in K-pop, and not really like, oh, I look up to them as a person. No. They're just some funny people. There are some others who are like, I don't know if they're K-pop stans or they're just trolls, but like something major happens in Twitter and they would literally be like, oh, anyways, stan this band, and like there's like fan cams and shit on the comment section of that specific tweet, and it's like, what? Huh? Okay.
Adding on to what I said,
Adding
on to what I said, this doesn't mean you have to be part of a fandom just because you like the thing. That is the opposite of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of My Little Pony for many, many years before I openly joined the fandom because I was scared of being bullied.
Okay, that's understandable.
I've been in the fandom since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when I started watching it. That's when I picked it up. But I kept everything else very, very closely guarded, very hidden, because, you know, I was in college and university. I'm not supposed to be watching this stuff and not supposed to be watching cartoons. Then Young Justice came out and everyone was watching cartoons again. So, but yeah, if you don't want to deal with the toxicity, you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm really not judging people who either love or hate or, you know, whatever it is. Just let people like what they like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that definitely makes a strong point for something else. As much as I admitted to liking Steven Universe, something that I will take the acknowledgement of and have zero tolerance for, I would never condone, is the controversy surrounding that one artist who did a fan art of rose quartz and she was drawn like a twig thin. And people got up in arms at her about that, saying that she's supposed to be chunky. And this got so out of control that the said artist was gaslit so bad she almost committed suicide.
Alas.
Yeah, the Zammy incident.
Yeah, so
that's wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, no, so the creators had to step in saying, we accept fan art of anything, whether or not somebody is thick or not. You know? Mm-hmm. And, like, they had to... Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing as saying, like, people who are larger should not cosplay people who are thin. Like, no, you can't do that. You can't say this is allowed, this is not allowed. It's a fandom. We are fans. We enjoy content. We create content. We are the people.
Icky.
Yeah, like
don't, boss.
Don't do any of that. Just accept people with open arms unless you know that they have done something terrible.
Exactly.
Like, and I mean legit terrible. Not
the same
like,
thing going on.
Oh, you draw them with the wrong skin tone or whatever. Just like, who cares?
Like, F off.
Just let people
like,
be
different
people.
kinds of race are gonna be interpreted. No, I remember that some people
It's the
were...
same thing going on with the freaking, was it Cookie Run characters?
Yeah.
Where you have people who are fixing humanoid versions of cookies because they're not the specific skin tone of said cookie.
I've heard this story before,
and I'm like,
God,
it's a cookie. But everyone's getting up in arms because they're like, oh, well, the creator said it was this, and it's like a certain king. I'm like, okay, but half of these cookies are like pink, like bright pink.
What kind of harm is this inflicting?
Obviously, you are pinkest.
Oh my God, it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Or like dark gray.
See, the only thing to get worked up of is if somebody is, like, laying down some particular harm of some sort. Like, I know that I mentioned earlier about the whole casting choice between Charles Martinet and Chris Pratt voicing Mario, and the reason why it's upsetting, like, there's no real harm involved, but it feels insulting because there's been talk that there have been actual, like, talented voice actors who have been treated like garbage, and the man, like, it's more of on the levels of frustrating upset. Like, it's not causing any harm.
There's nothing wrong with being frustrating.
That's different compared to...
It's nothing... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, like, it's, like, that's not, like... Obviously, like, that's something we will have a right to express of, but it's not causing any particular harm. What I do not condone is if somebody is throwing death threats at somebody over this kind of shit. Like, as much as I don't agree with Nintendo's decisions, I'm not gonna go sending death threats to them. I'm not gonna go sending death threats to Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking horseshit that happened at the tail end of the show, Friendship is Magic. The writers were given death threats, or the director or the creator was given death threats because, one, they were not happy with the ending, and two, it got spoiled early on because that got leaked into the countries, which that is beyond their control, and it's fucked up of them to spoil something that everybody else would have to wait for. But that's based on the TV networks themselves. It's not even worth it to go throwing death threats at them over that. It's more on the levels of frustration, but that's not worth getting so violent over.
Death threats are, as far as I'm concerned, the pettiest thing possible.
Exactly. No, I will never forget... Go ahead.
If you're going to be that petty over someone who has given you a gift, the literal term is looking a gift horse in the mouth. Someone has given you something amazing and you feel that you are so damn entitled that you will threaten their lives because a cartoon, put this in perspective, a cartoon didn't end the way you wanted it to. Poor little baby.
If you want
need to be in a stroller
show to end the way you want, create your own fucking show.
Just create a fan fiction.
Write your own fucking story. Create your own fucking ending.
Yes.
Don't get upset that somebody who created something, put their hard fucking passion so others could enjoy, doesn't end the way you do. You sound like an entitled fucking baby.
Yeah. Don't get me started on people who fix these things.
Yeah, no,
Like,
this is the
people
same.
who try to fix characters.
Yeah, no, this is the same bullcrap that I inadvertently got involved in because, like, I was venting my feelings about Pinkie Pie in the episode Philly Vanilli because I didn't like the way she was written. She made the episode and the flow of the pacing extremely annoying to the point where she's climbing up that wall and over the banister. Like, she had no respect for Fluttershy's personal space. And in terms of writing, like, it took away the possibility where they could just sit her down and talk things over. And it would have been a very mature way to talk about, you know, things about anxiety and everything. But nope, we get the stupid wild goose chase because Pinkie Pie is unnecessarily recapping everything. But afterwards, I heard that Amy Keenan Rogers was given death threats, and I heard these as rumors, and it freaked me the fuck out because after I vented my feelings, it felt like I inadvertently encouraged it or something. I had to make a whole video explaining I don't condone that shit. So.
No, absolutely you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You giving your opinion is not condoning such behavior.
Thank you!
I remember several creators on YouTube having to basically make mentions like, hey, just because I'm having a downfall with this person or I made a video on this person does not mean that you should send them death threats. Like, I've seen many creators do that. And the fact that we have to sit there and basically say, hey, don't be a shitty person, don't send death threats just because I disagree with this person or because I don't like this person or I made a video on this person. Like, seriously.
No, like, we shouldn't have to tell you this shit. You should know it yourselves. Work on your goddamn social cues and fucking, like, grow a thicker skin and don't go as far as to send death threats over anything.
Yeah.
If your friend makes you a fucking, like, gift, I don't know, like, say they make you a purse. For some reason you wanted a purse. They hand make you a purse and it's pink. You hate the color pink. You don't understand why they would make it the color pink, but you hate the color pink. Are you going to then tell your friend to go jump off a bridge because they made you something?
Do you have any idea how much...
Or are you going to take the gift and be thankful that your friend took the time to actually make it for you?
I have to ask, how much effort does it have to take to make a purse? I mean, that is some thick fucking fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then take the analogy and it's like, how long do you think it takes to make these shows? How long do you think it takes for scripting, writing, editing? How long do you think it takes for all of that?
Or if somebody...
And then you're going to sit around and you're going to send death threats because something doesn't go the way you want it to?
Or when somebody draws you a fan art and it makes you look thicker than usual, it's not worth losing your shit over, but I'm tish.
That's reasons for another story.
Oh, yeah. And on that note, I think we're ready to move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going for the Q&A.
Yes,
long story short,
our feelings.
Yeah, long story short, be grateful with what you have. If you're going to be critical on some things, yeah, that's fine. I'm a critic myself. I'm going to point out some things that I feel need to be fixed to make it better. That's different compared to, I'm going to fucking kill you if you don't do things my way. No, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I know, that's a giant mood right there.
Also, just in general, for people who don't have great social cues and may or may not be listening, how about you just don't threaten people? That would be a good start. All right, just not a good plan, because you either can't back it up or shouldn't back it up, or you're just being a bully, and don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super simple stuff.
Way too out of control. Oh yeah, no, the entitlement mentality has gone overboard. It's one thing to call out on something, but it's another to get pissy over small potatoes. You know? It's like, you're gonna get all pissy over this kind of stuff, grow a thicker skin, or just go blow off somewhere else.
Sorry, last comment, I promise.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the almost hilarious irony, certainly at the time I thought it was hilarious, because again, this is way outside anyone I knew. I just, you hear people sending death threats to these amazing artists and people who have created this amazing show that we all very obviously adore. And it's about friendship being magic and about kindness and love and tolerance. And we're sending death threats. We are very obviously picking up what the show wants to teach as adults. It's just so
Yes, love and tolerance through death threats.
Yeah. All right, so we already have. Oh, sorry. We're already getting some questions. Okay,
My
so
last comment on this. You want to know what happens when you send death threats? The My Hero Academia fans can tell you what happens when you send death threats because the ship isn't going your way. You get by Moneta. That's all I'm gonna say.
all right, so first question. Hold on, I gotta scroll up a bit already. Like we're getting a lot of questions. Let's see. Come on, scroll up.
Boy.
See, ask all. Are you excited for Gen 5 tomorrow? Yes, I am. I am anticipating to the movie tomorrow.
Yeah.
I am very excited. I can't see it when it comes out because I gotta work.
Yeah, they're
Same.
Saturday night.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but
Like the plus side is that I can at least see it in the morning before I participate in FlitterKriz's podcast tomorrow. But for those, like, whenever you do have the chance, you know, I hope you guys anticipate, and I hope it's all good. Next up, what are your thoughts on Jack Black being Bowser? I'm perfectly fine with Jack Black playing
it's gonna be pony-rific.
But on to the next question. For Jack Black playing as Bowser in the Mario movie, I'm completely open to that. You know, the majority of the cast I'm fine with. I just don't agree. I just don't agree with Chris Pratt playing as Mario. That's like having Arnold Schwarzenegger play as Homer Simpson.
Pratt was. Listen, Chris Pratt was great in the Marvel movies. I will not deny it. He was really funny. It's just I do not see him playing. I find it interesting. It's like if you starred The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson as, like, I don't know, Princess Peach. I don't know.
I would watch that. I would watch the hell out of that.
I would watch that too, just
Dude,
for the fact of
the
that's
fucking Rock would enjoy that too much. He would enjoy too much. Like, it's like, oh
He
no,
doesn't even, like,
I
listen
have
to
been.
his voice. He just casually talks normally.
Where did Ryley go?
Just him and Ryley went to bed.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
All right. Okay, so we got a question from Ask All. A question before I head to bed for work. Are you guys' thoughts on the Scooby-Doo Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover? I haven't.
Yes.
I haven't been up to. I haven't watched much.
that one.
I haven't watched much of Courage, but I have a respect for Scooby-Doo.
I haven't watched it yet. No spoilers,
do-
please,
I-
but I'm excited to watch
I
it.
do like the idea. I definitely like the idea of having those two because they both share something extremely common, and that is taking on the horror genre.
It was a long time coming, and I am so excited. Also, I will say the reason why I'm super excited and why every time it gets brought up and, like, I get teary-eyed is because unfortunately Myrtle has passed. But her last voice, her last acting is in this movie, and I am extremely excited to see it. No spoilers, please, for the love of God.
All right, so another question.
No spoilers.
So another question comes from an earlier question from Amethyst Majesty 25. What are your thoughts about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings? I've seen ads of those everywhere.
Same.
Sounds interesting.
I have not seen anything.
I haven't been up to date with a lot of Marvel movies. Like, I've anticipated to the Avenger movies, but I haven't watched all of the MCU films. Like, I did watch, like, the first phase.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I basically grew up in the first phase.
Okay, so somebody said that Shang-Chi was great. I'm sure it's worth a watch. It's probably available on Disney+.
Yes, one would have to have Disney Plus in order to watch it, though.
All right. Let's see what other question we have here, because let's see, and I'm excited for the Gen 5 movie as well. Yeah, no, I did see some of the trailers. So many people are gushing their feelings about Izzy.
She is adorable. Precious bean.
Love her.
Precious bean.
I love the fact that they have phones.
The most that I remember is her going all ta-da!
She seems to be the new Pinkie Pie.
Yeah, it
and
looks
that's why
like
people
it.
absolutely adore her.
I also find I also find it hilarious on how oblivious she is with like all of the Earth ponies freaking out. It's like, oh, is everybody playing hide and seek? I see you. It's like, oh, and he jumps into the water.
Well, here's the thing. It's very interesting. Sorry, I'm not gonna say anything more because I have seen basically everything that's come out from it, so I don't want to give spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you've even seen if you've been part of the discussion at all, her naivete is very interesting.
I think that has to do with where she grew up with.
Well, slight spoilers? I mean, if you've seen the trailers, you know exactly what it is. Am I allowed to say anything, or should I shut the hell up?
Unless there's like other trailers. I've seen like the one official trailer that's been out for a while.
There's been like 3 trailers.
Oh wow!
Or
Okay.
3 things that have come out at least.
Okay, well, I guess I was living under a rock.
One of them basically says, the Earth ponies, Pegasi, and unicorns have obviously split up, but they've been helped along in splitting up.
Oh. This is definitely going to explain so much.
That's all I'm going to say.
Dude, like that right there, like, oof. Okay, so I'm going to... This is going to be interesting. This will definitely explain so much whenever I get to see the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm one of those who don't mind spoilers, so me and Brogar have been like posting non-stop to each other, like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Oh my god.
A part of me has to know the material, considering that a part of, like, it's kind of like my job to critique things of MLP. But at the same time, I'm not a big fan of spoilers myself because I like being surprised with things. But I can somewhat see an idea. Like, I don't mind if there are clues that are being gathered together. Like, whenever that comes around, there's definitely clues. You can kind of piece it together. It's like, okay, what is it going to be? And you can still be surprised with what the clues are, even if you were to predict them.
I'm pretty sure I've predicted all the steps of where this movie is going to go, so I'm not going to say that, but I am going to say I'm interested in how it plays out.
Okay. So, I'm waiting for the next question. Whatever question it is, I'll use that one as the last, because nobody else seems to be asking at this point.
Someone ask a question.
Yeah. There's always like a 30-second delay between like me and the chat.
Yeah, no worries. Fine, I have a question. What is your favorite type of maple syrup?
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Alright, I heard one maple syrup.
I like...
Who else said something?
Maple syrup.
That is the correct answer, but there are types of maple syrup.
Yeah, no, there's boysenberry, there's strawberry, there's blueberry.
There's maple syrup.
Hold on.
Maple syrup. I mean, there's golden maple syrup. There is pure maple syrup. There is dark maple syrup. There is heavy maple syrup.
Amethyst, we've already talked about.
Maple syrup.
We kind of discussed the setting for the G5 movie.
Well, it's not really a new setting. It's the old setting, but changed. I mean, which makes sense after 1,000 years. The landscape does not stay the same.
Yeah. So, again, like, this is just going to narrow down to, just maybe you could ask, like, a different kind of question that is, like, off topic.
Yes. Completely off topic to the My Little Pony movie.
Yeah. You're fine, Amethyst.
No worries, Amethyst.
Did you know there's over 3,000 rubber ducks that are just missing?
Oh, that hurts!
Are they the ones? Are they the ones that were in the container in the ocean that they're still finding?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question by the Miner 100. Ask all, what is your do-use like having on your pizza? You mean what our favorite pizza combinations are? Wait, who said pineapple?
I don't like pizza.
Me.
Dusk?
Yes.
Up top! Yes! Pineapple pizza!
It's so good. Okay, first of all, grilled pineapple is amazing.
Yep.
Just grilled pineapple.
Pineapple pizza is good if it's like
Done
good,
right.
good if it's given to me. Yeah. If it's
good
done
if
right,
it's given
yeah.
to Dear, any free pizza is good.
Yeah, but I stick to the classics, the basic bitch shit, where it's like
pepperoni
and cheesy pizza with like stuffed crust. Oh yeah.
Oh,
like the
stuffed,
pretzel.
dude,
Oh,
stuffed crust.
Yes.
I fucking love stuffed crust. That is genius
Stuffed
right
crust
there.
is my heaven.
Yeah, no, like stuffed crust definitely gives you like something to dip in, and not just eating the pizza in itself.
Honestly,
I just
would
eat
love to
like
have
the
that.
stuffed
That sounds
crust
amazing.
before the pizza.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Des.
are you trying to say? No, I'm looking in the chat, and Magical Star Flash, I think she wrote pizza on pineapple on pizza is harem, and I think they meant to write haram, because harem is something else, my dear.
Harem is a very
I think
kinky
they're trying
term.
to write heresy. They're trying to write heresy.
Yeah, because I think there's a giant difference in the terminology, my dude.
Yes. Harem and haram is very, very different.
I mean, I do like the term
Hilarious,
harem, but...
We now Pickles, you have a new assignment. Just draw GoldenFox as a sexy piece of pizza.
Wait, what?
Oh my god.
No,
Harem
like...
yes.
Oh my...
Harem pizza.
Like, oh my
no,
god.
Like bikini pizza.
Sorry, Magical Star Flash. I was not sure of gender because
sorry.
you know.
Okay,
fairly
sorry.
neutral name.
Let's see, but yeah, haram. Oh, haram.
Yeah, haram. Haram is not kosher, but for Muslims.
Oh.
So yeah, messing those two up is
Quite the difference. No, like, imagine that I would draw, like, just my pony seductively laying on a slice of pizza, and I'm just like, I got, like, a pineapple in my mouth or something.
No.
Oh my god.
Just have you wear like one of those like prints where it's like the pizza as like a bikini, but like you like smother yourself with like pineapple juice or some shit.
No!
Oh my.
Yes. Golden is just wearing a pineapple tutu.
Wait, a what?
Yes.
Pineapple tutu.
Tutu?
On pizza. Pineapple.
Tutu skirt.
Like a slice of pineapple as a tutu. Your character should be wearing it on pizza.
Okay, what is a tutu?
Floofy skirt. Generally made out of tulle.
Oh, is it like a ballet
God.
skirt?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
have Golden wear the bikini, rub himself and like rub herself in terms of like the female GoldenFox, just like have her wear like that bikini, smother herself in pineapple juice, and just be like, come get your pineapple pizza.
Oh my god.
I'll let you draw that one, Alex.
Alright, so I think that kind of
end it on?
Yeah, we're gonna kind of like wrap things up from there because we're being asked about Paw Patrol. I haven't watched Paw Patrol. And
Neither have I, but working in a toy store, I know all the characters.
Yeah, no, I see them everywhere.
What?
Okay, so
That is a
boy, this podcast went on for quite a while. This is like the biggest return. Yeah, no, this is the
fun.
Yeah, no, this is the biggest return that we've had. So wrapping things up, some people had to go. Ryley had to leave. FlitterKriz had to leave. Any final says to the rest of you guys before we head out?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Golden.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Okay. I forgot to do this while we were when we were talking about Space Jam 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Take two peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Throw them into the sky. Congratulations, Space Jam 2.
I quit. I quit.
What?
I give up on life. Give up on life.
Come on, Slim. And
You have to
welcome
introduce
the
yourself to the levels of what
welcome to
Master Code would
Japan.
say.
That's exactly what Master Code would say.
Some Dashy Games levels of puns. I love it.
Jesus fucking Christ. oh, Panda, Dusk, Deafhorse, any final says you guys have?
Enjoy the movie when it comes out. And have a great night.
Enjoy your peanut butter jelly sandwiches while you can.
Well, there. My comment is, well, good night, everybody.
My comment, hope y'all enjoy the new My Little Pony movie coming out. No spoilers, please.
No spoilers!
Please. And,
spoilers.
And, the Dear Evan Hansen movie is disgusting. Yeah, good night, everybody.
Oh. Okay, then.
I have salt towards that movie.
She does have salt. She has major salt issues towards it.
Oh, boy. That'll
We can
be quite
discuss it
something.
after it's over.
Yeah. Alright, so, until then...
A talk for another day.
Until then, I hope you guys have a good night, and, get vaccinated, and put on a mask, and stay safe out there.
Absolutely.